Right now. Hello there, everybody. This is Marc the Cyborg and Krista Nova, or Darth Barbie, as you may know her. And we're continuing our adventure as anime cops. I'm just going to bring the stream up on my thing so I can see the chat, even though I have a chat buddy. And yeah, and then we're gonna get going on playing some Astral Chain, and we might have some special guests, like Patriarch Jeremy himself may be popping by, as well as a new friend of ours, who we're looking forward to you meeting. But okay, let's I want to put away my ghost cyborg puppy.
Yeah, I'm tweeting this out right now, and it is live. Yay!
Okay, so down there, if you see that blonde woman being held up by the cops, is the person that I've just been investigating. And now we're going to go down and see how this arrest is going to go. And I have a feeling it will result in me getting into a fight, because this is an action game. Whoa! Hello, police. Hit me with a cop car, why don't you? And yes, Ryan, this game is on the Switch. It is a Switch exclusive for now. Alright, I think she just jumped into the Astral plane. I'm gonna clean up this litter.
Hello, Gamer Geeks. We got Alex here, Ryan. Oh, you're reading it. Sorry. I'm sorry.
It's dangerous.
Mason's here, Jamie.
I'm gonna follow her. Entering the gate. I mean, yes, I know, Ryan, this is, the version is trash compared to what this game could be like if it were on basically any other platform. Like PC, PS4, Xbox One would all run this game better. But, I like the game, it's good, and I want to play it. It's, why Platinum Games is a great developer. But I think that it's, I'm kind of almost getting into it on a level that I feel like I'm playing a PS3 game or something. Like, it's like I'm playing a classic game, but it's one that I just never got around to playing, even though it's a game from 2019. It just runs as if... okay. I have a feeling... Hold on a sec. Arrow.
Oh. Darren's here. Hello. Got my knights here with me, Mark. Better watch out.
Oh, no. Do I have to worry? Should I worry?
Yes. I'm always worried. Don't worry about Ryan though. He doesn't really. He's not scary.
Well, I don't know. Like Ryan and maybe Drunk 3PO are probably the only ones in Phantom Menace that I think like I might not be able to beat up if it came right down to it.
I can take all of you. No problem.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't beat up Jeremy because he's my boss, but.
I could take on all of you guys. I weigh 105 pounds, but do not get.
That's how the Canadians could win. I could just throw you at them.
We got Drunk here. Speaking of Drunk, it says Fortnite. You got that right, Mark.
Oh my god.
Oh, you've been listening this entire time?
Drunk, you're going to make people not like our channel because of all the Fortnite content that it's purported to have. It's lame, man. It's for babies.
I hate that I'm getting better at Fortnite.
Stop playing Fortnite!
What's wrong with Fortnite?
I will pay you guys to just start playing Apex Legends instead. I will act as an EA executive and sponsor you to play a better game. It's also free. It's also free and it's on everything.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's on PS4. Well, it's not on Switch. It is on PS4, Xbox One, and PC though. Okay. And on PC, you don't have to buy it on the stupid Epic Store. Or no, not buy it, but, you know, play it.
I miss playing...
Oh, no. Okay, no. Sorry. That was an organic reaction to what was happening to me in the game. I fell.
Drunk says, send me $100 and I'll change games.
Canadian or American?
What a whore. You're playing the Switch and dishing around something being for babies. That's what he said. Ryan. The Switch is not for babies, Ryan.
I might be playing on the baby's platform, but at least I'm playing a man's game. A Japanese man's game. It's a more exotic class of man. And I don't
This is
mean
real
like
name,
Japanese
American.
people ethnically. I mean like people from the who live in Japan, like
Right.
more exotic than Canadians, not Italian people. Proper Italians are like exotic though.
Oh yeah.
I don't really need anything from the vending machine. It's one of those things you see a vending machine, almost like when you find one at work, and it's like, huh, maybe I should take a look to see if there's anything I want in there.
Oh, we got Jeremy.
Oh, Jeremy's
Ryan
here?
can go- yeah, in the chat he says Ryan can go straight to hell. We gotta say
Oh,
about that,
yeah.
Ryan.
Ryan's going after Jeremy's platform. I will.
Do not disrespect the Switch.
I will one day convert Jeremy to PCs. Give me time.
Yes, hell, Jeremy.
Let's
That's right, Alex.
charge this up.
Larry says Switch is an Android tablet.
It basically is. I mean, it's not running on Android, but it's essentially a NVIDIA. What's the name of it? Zen. No, it's not Zen. It's Navi. Oh shit, I forget the name. Oh sorry, I keep on forgetting I'm streaming with Krista and I shouldn't swear.
You gotta go in timeout now.
Oh.
See that corner behind you?
Okay,
gotta go there
I
for
won't
5 minutes.
talk for 1 solid minute. You can tell me when I can speak. You entertain the chat in the meantime.
Alright. Hello everybody, my name's Krista, it's known as Darth Barbie. Ryan is really mean because he doesn't like Baby Yodas or pretty much anything. And this is a game about people who are trying to look for something in life. Clearly, though. And that's is that a chain? Yes, that's a chain and a sword. And I don't know. I don't know. The floor is yours, Mark.
Okay, I can speak again. So yes, this game is about I guess you could say ghosts. Like it's about the spirit plane.
A ghost?
Yeah, like these things are ghosts. Like the kind of puppy that I have on the chain. It's what's known as a legion. It's a being from the astral plane, and the astral plane is the place where we are now. And the little device that I have on my back is called Lacatus, I believe. And what it does is allows me to control one of these legions and basically make it like my little pet. So it's kind of like much more badass Pokemon. And instead of being a turn-based RPG, it's like a character action game.
Pokemon for adults.
Basically, yeah. And I guess Persona would be Pokemon for teens.
Jeremy says, Mark, talking very knowledgeable about video games. Krista, do you like Doritos? Yes, remember that, Jeremy.
This is why
Ew.
I need
Don't
her
say-
with me, Jeremy, because she balances
Don't-
me out.
Joe says I only eat hot dogs with cheese. Ew, what kind of cheese are you talking about? Like Swiss cheese?
Is there such thing as a hot dog with cheese? Like, is that something you can even get at a non-specialty place?
I feel like only in America, maybe. Have you seen that here?
The only place I really ever eat hot dogs is like in Toronto on the street. We call it street meat,
Wait.
and generally I
Oh.
would get sausages anyways. Not like
You
off
get
the
sausages
street.
on the you get
no.
sausages on the street?
Well, no, it's like a street vendor. Like it's like a little guy in a thing that has like a barbecue and a little like canopy, so if it rains, he stays dry, and they're there
Okay, you
until
can
like
stop there.
4 in the morning. What, has no one ever heard the term street meat but me? Did they not have those in Montreal? I mean, oh god, in any place that you visited.
Oh my gosh, street meats. You get sausages on the meat on the street.
Well, I mean, not like off the road, but I think, come on, like, have you ever been to New York?
I've been to New York.
Yeah,
I
in
don't eat
New
hot
York
dogs in
City,
New York.
they have like tons of different types of food that you can get just from like street vendors. Like you can get fajitas and like what's it called? The
Ryan-
Greek things, souvlakis
Ryan
at like
says-
2 in the morning.
Souvlaki's?
Yeah.
What? What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Ryan
well-
says street meat is me when I'm late on the rent.
Oh God. It's a family stream, Ryan. we can't have them knowing.
No, this is
Actually, wait, no,
Pokemon.
not a family stream. That was me making a joke.
Oh.
Quick, Krista, swear.
Mean person. You're a mean person.
She can't do it.
I can't. Let's see what else.
I almost tricked her into it. That's gonna be my game for the night. I'm gonna try to trick Krista into saying the F word.
You said you got souvlaki's on the street?
Yeah, well, in Toronto, you can't find those very easily, but in New York City, yeah, you can get, like, I think they call them kebabs, and it's basically like a souvlaki on a stick.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and
Maybe
you can get them at, like,
much.
4 in the morning. Like, they never close.
I don't go out in 4 in the morning. I'm usually sleeping.
Well, I mean, it's not like they're only there at 4 in the morning. It's just that's when they try to sell stuff like that to drunk people.
Drunk? They were selling you what? Souvlakis?
No, not people named drunk. People intoxicated
drunk
with
people.
with the alkaboos.
The alcohols?
Yeah, alcatisms.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of souvlakis. They're okay. Ironically enough, that's where I kind of ate last night, like a place they sell them at a food place.
Oh, cool.
But I didn't get that. Yeah, I got calamari. Deep fried calamari. Who here likes calamari?
Calamari is pretty good.
The bomb. Yeah, see? Darren says Krista has a corner she goes to now if she swears it's true. Meet at 4 in the morning, says Krista. And hi, by the way. I know, isn't that weird? Meet at 4 in the morning. Like, who's just like walking?
If you don't understand that, I am going to accuse you of never having partied hard enough in your life, and you should probably rectify that. At least before you settle down.
Like birthday parties, you know. But I've never been to like a party. I mean, like I've been to like a Halloween party, but like it wasn't like anything like bad. Like there was no alcohols. But yeah. Let's see. Get on to Krista when she swears. That's true, Alex. Oh, Tress says calamari tastes like rubber to me. What do you have to say about that?
Well, I mean, if it's not properly cooked, I could see that. But good calamari.
Yeah, but deep fried. Deep fried. That's why I like it deep fried. Not.
Oh,
like,
it should be deep fried. But just if it's not, if it's like cheap calamari, like if you're getting calamari from like, what's like an American equivalent of like Kelsey's or something? I don't know, like TGI Fridays. Oh, there! I found the blonde lady. Ooh,
where?
It's actually not too bad to look at.
Oh my gosh. Moving on.
Oh, seems her skin's kind of messed up though. Oh, now she's gone. I knew it couldn't be that easy.
Chicky nuggy party.
Whoa.
All calamari is X.
They fly now. Yes, I did it.
Oh.
Flying enemies. The first time I've seen them.
Oh my gosh.
They fly now.
What is that?
I don't know. Angel ghost cyborgs? Or I guess these ones aren't cyborgs. Oh god. Maybe I should switch to my arrow guy.
They fly now. Hashtag they fly now. And hi, David. Ryan says I need to get Mario Kart. You were just like trashing like the Switch, and now you're like, I need to get Mario Kart.
Well, Mario Kart runs well. I'll say that much. I don't think all Switch games run poorly, but I think some of them do. Ah.
I just love Smash. I know you don't like it because I was busy.
On arrows, yeah. Boom.
Drunk says I never lost at Mario Kart. Really? You never? Like, never. You know that word, right? Never?
Play against me, Krista, and Jeremy, because I think we've all beaten each other at some point in Mario Kart.
Jeremy is the best at it. David says hi, Josh Bobby. Hello! Someday Super Mario Bros. 2. It's
okay, where are you?
It's the only one games I can play well. Me too. Me too, Tristan.
Oh, cool. I can just shoot without aiming.
That's cool that you can like bring
Oh god. Yeah.
I want to be.
I'm certainly getting better at this game. Ooh. Whoa. Oh, These are the guys that create shields.
Climb it. Fly. Go on top of it. Fly.
I can't fly.
You can't control
my
it?
little. No, I kind of control my little puppy guy. I only say puppy because he's on a leash. I mean, he's almost kind of a bird himself. But I'm using the one that shoots arrows. Oh, I need to switch to the sword one though, because basically that little thing that's floating around, it is creating a shield for the other ones, and I can't kill either of them unless I destroy this by cutting it. And so now I can go here and kill this thing.
Drunk says I only play against third graders. That's how you win.
Well, that's why you play Fortnite, clearly. Only third graders play Fortnite.
Hey, I am a third grader.
Apparently, that's why I keep on telling you guys to stop playing Fortnite. Because everyone's going to come to our channel and be like, oh, so... I mean, they're going after that crowd. They're going after the 11-year-olds.
Alex says, smash that melee button, y'all.
Oh yeah, that would help us.
Thank you, Alex. You're amazing.
Oh,
yes, everyone,
okay.
please
I think I found...
smash the like button. What'd you find?
I figured out that guy is casting his shield differently, and I'm going to need to use my arrow legion to take him out. Oh god.
Do it. Captain Winkster says, hello. Says, excuse me, Mark. 5th graders play Fortnite too.
Okay, well, no one passed 8th grade.
No one passed 8th grade? What grade are you in, Mark?
I'm actually one of the few people that did grade 13 because it was before my province got rid of it.
Show off. Bobby's here, hello, says, remember Mary Mayhem plays Fortnite. What do you gotta say about that?
That means you're telling her not to play Fortnite either. I've been trying to tell everyone to just stop playing Fortnite. It's giving us a poor reputation amongst, like, video gamers. My people.
Yes. Shanna says Super Smash Bros. Night, we need it. It's coming. Me and Mark, we're planning. We're planning on it. Hello,
oh god,
Cat.
big tornado.
Adam, Mark.
Oh no.
Cat says hello.
Oh, hello. Okay. Let's see if I can make something happen here.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
I just want to go ahead and make a formal apology for all of Drunk 3PO's misspelling errors on the Park Hoppin' account. It's been pretty cringe and painful. And
we need to give him a proofreader.
Yeah, I'm going to. We're working on the situation. I have failed as a leader. Drunk 3PO continues to be a public embarrassment to everything Geeks and Gamers, and I apologize. So.
Thank you. I needed that apology. I was so annoyed. Like, I saw the tweets and I was like, what is this? You didn't even apologize to me? So thank you for apologizing.
2 L's in holiday.
I'm stupid. Hold on one sec. I gotta turn on my instant replay. There we go. I have not been recording this footage.
Oh.
Hashtag cancel drunk. That's right. That is right.
See, there you go, Drunk. You're getting canceled now. That's why you gotta just stop playing Fortnite. And we can all move on.
Have you ever played this game, Jeremy?
I have not.
It is quite good. I may be doing a video on it, which is why I've been wanting to play it as much as I can, and because I streamed it for the first time on this channel, I think that I should always stream it on here so that the audience doesn't have to go over to my channel, Mark the Cyborg, youtube.com/MarkTheCyborg, where I stream other games.
That was nice.
It dovetailed into it. Yeah, I'm back in the real world.
Mark, do you mind giving me a shout out, because I recently identify as a dolphin now.
And
I feel like
everybody
I-
subscribe to
yes.
youtube.com/dolphinbarbie. That's Dolphin
you.
Barbie on
Thank
Twitter.
you.
And
Can we get a Dolphin Barbie account, please, on Twitter?
that's what I do.
We
I'm a
need
meme
this.
factory. Yeah, that's your parody account. I still have yet to get a parody account. I'm starting to feel left out. Someone make like Android Mark or something.
Yes, we do. We need a
PC
Android
Mark.
Mark.
Mark
Yeah,
the Android.
PC Mark. Yeah, yeah,
PC
PC Mark. No matter what conversation
Oh
is
no,
going
no,
on,
the
PC Mark shows
the
up.
alt account would be console gamer Mark.
No matter what's happening in the tweet, just be like, a PC's better. Get a PC.
PC Master Race. PC Master Race Mark. That's what it needs.
I almost kind of want to run the console gamer Mark one though, and just be like, you guys just don't understand. Gaming at 30 FPS is just more cinematic. Like, you don't understand. It's actually better.
Oh, that would be good. We need to see that. So we need a Dolphin Barbie and a Master Race Mark account.
Oh God, Master
can
Race
just
Mark.
see
I
that.
think please put the PC in there, or else everyone's gonna think I'm a Nazi. You really need PC in the PC
gold.
Master Race meme, or it doesn't read well.
But we won't let it happen again. She can't get away from all of us.
This game would be better on the PC.
Okay, we've got to figure out our next move.
I'd say it would necessarily be better. It would run better
Copy that.
Oh, okay.
on many PCs. That's the one thing about PCs though, is like not everybody's PC will be the same, but the min and the max will always be best on PC. Like the worst a game could possibly run and the best.
Mark, everyone wants to know, where's that nice light coming from behind you?
Well, I have Philips Hue lights in this room, and they are synced to my computer. So what's going on my screen will often be reflected by what's happening in the room.
Nice.
Are you sure? Because did
I love
anyone
that.
tell you about any
Your
strange
room looks
Mark's
like a
got
fish
it.
tank.
and where they might have seen
It's very dolphin friendly. Thank
Yeah.
you.
That's not consistent.
Oh
with
man, I'm
the
doing
fact.
terrible at this
Everyone
investigation.
told- so what was it
The
that
Hang
you
Guard
saw
Master's here,
around
hello.
Oak Mall?
Shannon M says, D-Day Cobra, have you seen the clip of Ryan Johnson on the red carpet of the Oscars? Cringe. Also, why is he talking about working on his next Knives Out film and not Star Wars? Yeah, I did see that clip, and yeah, I mean, it's pretty much obvious at this point he's not going to be working on a Star Wars movie, and I think that's hilarious. So, and I have not seen Knives Out. I actually heard Knives Out was pretty good. I'll probably check it out when I can get it for free. I don't have a problem with Ryan Johnson as a filmmaker outside of Star Wars.
I
you know,
quite like
Sounds like we
Looper.
can expect some pretty
The
weird-
time
enjoyed
travel rules
Looper.
in it
Looper's
are silly, but I think it's a solid movie. Like it's
I-
definitely fun to watch.
Hey, keep your chin up.
I feel like it would got really hyped big time before it came out, and then when I watched it, I had really high expectations. But I mean, it's still a good movie. There's no doubt about it. It's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. Just it was a little overhyped for me when I first saw it. So, yeah, they were hyping this thing up to be like Inception level, and it's just like stop.
Yeah,
Stop.
and I think he might have got the Star Wars thing just because of the telekinesis in that movie. Like someone's like, oh, he's like an up and coming auteur director who knows things about moving things with your mind. So Star Wars.
Nothing to
Skip
report.
it.
Yeah. Yep.
And it
So-
would have been fine if they let him direct it, but just being like, no, write it in 100% creative freedom. That's where they messed up.
Oh, chat. That's a big compliment from Krista. I love you all as much as I love Nuggies.
Ooh,
Wow.
that's huge.
That's big. Big deal right there. So.
And I love nuggies.
Oh no,
I
it's
got so sick off them.
it's the like yeah,
I ate too
you
much.
and X-Ray Girl, who's my girlfriend. I've been trying to get her and Krista to become friends because they are both they're the two people in my life that are both constantly talking about Baby Yoda and constantly talking about Nuggies.
Some kind of
She's coming to visit me on Wednesday and actually will be cooking me Nuggies at some point.
Aw, cooking you nuggies. Ooh.
Yeah, she makes her own in a device called an air fryer, which I was not even aware existed. To me, it kind of doesn't make sense. I'm like, so like a convection oven? She's like, no, it's an air fryer. I was like, but frying
Oh
is...
yeah, I heard of that.
Like, my brain broke. I was like, isn't frying kind of, like, by definition, being in a pan with oil?
Yeah, it's like a new thing that came out. I don't have one, but like I saw it, I was like, this is kind of cool.
Well, I
It's like a
hear
healthier
it
way.
makes good nuggies, and sometime next week, I guess I can give you my review.
Can't wait to hear it.
I
I'm
made the
got the
tweet
nuggie
up.
addiction.
I made the tweet about drunks spelling too. So
Let's see.
since he's been crying all day in the Geeks and Gamers chats about how I chewed him out. I figured I'd just go public with it, put him on blast. So
Jenna Anderson, former
and I was like, I
ARI
can only see
scientist.
holiday spelled with 2 L's, but only about 10 times drunk before I call you out. So
Well, it's perfect because he's drunk 3PO, so
yeah.
makes sense.
Your master's done as he pleases for long enough.
Oh, that's good. That's so good.
Master.
If you're new here, smash the melee button. Please
I-
subscribe to the video or subscribe to the channel also.
Yeah, subscribe to the video.
Yeah, subscribe to the video. Yeah,
Maybe you're drunk now.
maybe.
You're the new drunk
Yes.
4PO.
Subscribe to the stream. I'm breaking off on my own and making my own channel. That's nothing but Astral Chain streams. 24/7. Quitting the military, it's just this is what I do now. I'm an anime cop.
DM says, love my air fryer. Nuggies are so good in it. Ooh. Okay,
see-
yes,
now I'm
yes.
sold.
I see we have the Knights of Krista here representing as always.
I mentioned that
So-
earlier. My knights are always with me. Wherever
Yep.
I go. They're amazing.
They're
See,
great.
even Darren says it too. I'm a mazeballs according to Krista. I'm running with it. Exactly. I said that for the first time the other day. I was like, you're a mazeballs. I was like, I never said the word before. Say it right now, Jeremy. Have you said it before?
Oh yeah, amazeballs. Yeah, I said that before.
Mark, say it now.
Amazeballs.
There we go. We all said it now.
Whoa, God, there's like a ceiling worm I'm fighting now.
Okay, so the wolf wants to come talk some shit. So wolf, can you spell Krista and Mark's name correctly if you're
I
going to
know.
take a shot at me? Come on, the wolf. Come on.
Look. He has like a K for Mark and a C for Krista.
Oh no, no.
I feel like he does that on purpose.
I
'Cause
know.
he did that
I'm
last
sure-
time
I'm-
too.
No, the wolf's great. I'm sure that's actually
is.
intentional, which is awesome.
Krista and Mark again.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's good.
I love it.
You guys are amazing.
All right.
Alright. But yeah, Jeremy, to link this this game into one of the videos that I made a couple weeks ago now, I guess at this point. The company that made that Kickstarter for that game, The Wonderful 101, this is their newest game. And Wonderful 101 was a Wii U exclusive. This one's a Switch exclusive. The Wii U exclusive is now have the Kickstarter to be launched on other platforms, and the same company is going to be launching 3 more campaigns, and I'm hoping one of them will be a multi-platform version of this game. And also Vanquish
Yeah.
2.
I never played the Wonderful 101, but I know a lot of people really loved that game on Wii U. So
Yeah, and Matthew Matosis, who I think is one of the best gaming analysts, just released a video supporting that same Kickstarter campaign, and he has stated it is his favorite game. And I referenced his video in my news story just because I watched his review and I enjoyed it, and I had no idea it was actually legit his favorite game.
nice.
But yeah, so there you go. So some the third-party Nintendo exclusives are worth writing home about.
Captain Winkster says, "I'm just here for the cyborg and PC master race."
See, told you, it's the winning team. everybody.
Hell yeah. I mean, look, how much better does it get, with representation here at Geeks and Gamers? You have an alt-right bigot in me here. You have a disabled cybernetic PC master race person, and we have a 12-year-old little girl that talks about nuggies all day long. I mean, that's representation if I've ever seen it. So.
I'm a dolphin. Get
Oh
it
yeah,
right.
a 12-year-old girl who identifies as a dolphin
There you go.
that's obsessed with chicky nuggies. That is
Yes.
representation at its finest at Geeks and
Oh
Games.
yeah, definitely. I deserve special treatment.
Yes, you do.
All right.
Captain Winkster says, it's okay, Jeremy. I'm primarily a console man, too. Because you're smart. Console master race is the way to go.
Oh my god. It hurts. It hurts my brain.
Shannon's asking me, what's your choice of gaming, console, PC? Console, currently just playing on the PS4. I've been enjoying it so far, but I'm getting a PC soon. Right, Mark?
I have plans to help her.
Yes,
And you also have a Switch.
I do, yes.
And the Switch
But
is the
preferring...
great.
It is the greatest, yes.
Well, technically,
Even
right
though-
now I'm playing on a Switch and a PC. Like, we want to get really
Yeah.
technical about it.
Yeah, I'm Nintendo through and through. I'll always be loyal to Nintendo. Always.
I don't know. I still say loyalty to a brand is never a good idea. That's what gets people thinking that Disney Star Wars is good. Because
I lost you there.
well, they're the people that just can't admit that any Star Wars is bad. Like they're just like, oh no, of course it's good. It's Star Wars. It's like no, but it's not. Like it's not the real Star Wars. You gotta stop. You gotta stop pretending that's Star Wars.
Well, I would say the people that are still out there saying that are not really Star Wars fans in the first place. They're people that, I mean, I think real Star Wars fans do have loyalty to the brand, but they're also calling out the nonsense that is, Disney Star Wars. But loyalty to the brand is, I mean, that's Nintendo has the most loyal foundation of fans of any company in the video game industry, brand developer, anything that but that doesn't mean anything. I mean, look at the Wii U. The Wii U failed miserably because it was they just did a terrible job across the board on it. So even with all that brand loyalty that Nintendo has, and people say Nintendo fans will just blindly follow them, it didn't happen with the Wii U.
Yeah, no, and I don't think I've ever said that Nintendo fans will just blindly follow Nintendo and buy anything Nintendo. I think that there's a lot of diehard Nintendo fans in games journalism that will give what I will often, to be fair, I'm stealing Colin Moriarty's term, what's known as the Nintendo bump, which is a Nintendo game that's really a 6 or like a 7, they'll give an 8 to. If it's really an 8, they'll give it a 10. And like there's an element of that with some of the Sony exclusives as well, so it's not only Nintendo. But I don't know. I think that my biggest example is I think that Mario Odyssey, while it's a great platforming game, for me is like a solid 8, maybe even a 9. Granted, I don't really like scoring reviews, so me saying that at all kind of means nothing. But across the board, it's getting 10s, and I'm like, guys, come on, it's not a 10. I always will cite that if Mario Odyssey was called Banjo-Kazooie Odyssey and was the exact same game, it would be scoring 8s.
But that's the thing is, there is no exact same game out there as Mario Odyssey because it can't be duplicated.
No, but I think if you took that game and just removed Mario from it and just did not call it a Mario game.
But that's my question. Why doesn't someone simply do it if it's that easy? You're dismissing the genius in the development of these games. If it's just as easy as just taking these games that you dismiss the amazing gameplay, the amazing mechanics, the groundbreaking element to them. If it's that easy, why doesn't someone else just do it?
Well, at no point I think that's misunderstanding me. At no point have I said that it's easy, because I know that I can't make a game. I think making a game is very hard. It's actually one of the reasons I try to do my best to support indie developers and make videos on smaller independent games that don't really have the kind of support that companies like Nintendo or Sony do. But I think that what I mean is that the quality level, like, people are just willing to assume greater levels of quality because it's a brand they love, than as opposed to objectively analyzing something for like how good it actually is. Because there are still like a lot of things about Mario Odyssey that make it a game from, like, if not the GameCube generation, like the PS3 PS3 360 generation. Like there's a lot about it, like things like characters sort of having limited voice acting, and there being a lot of just text to read, and like they always say, oh, but that's the charm. Like Mario just says, yeah, woohoo, whippy, and it's like, okay, but I mean they could.
Yay!
they could just hire a good voice actor to make Mario a charismatic character and like do a good job writing it. Like that's not impossible. They just don't do it, and people let them
What I'm
not
saying is,
do it because
name
it's
me one
Nintendo.
game that's tried to copy Nintendo that has even came anywhere near Nintendo's quality. And Nintendo has been duplicated and imitated.
Crash Team
more than
Racing,
anybody.
I think, was easily as good as any of the Mario Kart games that were out at the time.
I mean, but where's Crash Team Racing at then?
it
The
just had
franchise
a
was not
Crash. The remastered one came out and it actually sold very well. It seems to be like, quite
compared
well
to Mario
received.
Kart.
No, not
Are you
comparing.
comparing?
But I mean, again, like now, are we talking about sales or are we talking about the quality of the game?
Well, again, though, if the quality is that superior or that good, then it would have been sustainable. Like, there's a reason Grand Theft Auto continues to, be successful. It's because it's a great game. I don't love those games personally, but the fans do. Sony has the biggest install base in all of gaming. Yet Crash Team Racing didn't, and I love Crash Team Racing, by the way. But Crash Team Racing could not move the needle enough to continue to have them put out more content, more games.
Actually, I think it's just that Naughty Dog wanted to move on. I don't think they wanted to make another kart racer. Because they went on to make the Jak and Daxter games in the PS2 era, which didn't hit quite as well as they wanted them to. But then after that, they made Uncharted. Now they're making The Last of Us. So I think a lot of Sony's strategy is that they don't lock people into just making the same series over and over again. Like they let them expand. Even right now, the kind of one of the big new games coming out for PlayStation, I'm guessing 4 and 5 this year, is Ghost of Tsushima, and that's the company who initially made the Sly Cooper games. They made the Sly Cooper games, and then for the PS3 generation, they made the Infamous games. They made one Infamous game for the PS4, and ever since Infamous Second Son came out, they've been working on Ghost of Tsushima. So, I don't know, I think Sony's strategy is have a company make a few games of a certain type, and then let them do whatever they want after that.
Well, I mean, like, I think you could sit there, like, your argument against Mario Odyssey, which is a terrible argument. I mean, Sony basically did try to remake Smash Brothers and failed miserably.
Yeah, but that was them copying
Exactly.
Nintendo.
Exactly. And they couldn't even come close to even making it worth of even a laugh. Like, I remember I was excited to play that game, and I'm like, this is the most pathetic attempt, and that just shows the magic of Nintendo. It's not about specs, it's not about brand recognition, it's about they have the magic touch, and Smash Bros versus Battle Royale All-Stars that is the in-game argument right there, where boom, you cannot touch Nintendo.
Well,
You
here,
can't.
also, I think Ratchet and...
Hey, Andrew's here.
Hey,
What's
Andrew,
up,
how's it
Andrew?
going? This is my last point. I'll say this. I think the Ratchet and Clank remake that came out, which was a remake of a PS2 game, I like that far more than I liked Mario Odyssey. Like, I had far more fun playing that mascot character game than I did playing Mario Odyssey. Both are console games, neither are on my platform. But Mario Odyssey, I was like, okay, like, I mean, it's good, it's fine, but, like, I don't understand where all these 10 out of 10s are coming from.
Mario Odyssey's a fantastic game. Fantastic.
It's all right.
I mean, even the soundtrack is gold. And Sunshine is my argument against that. Sunshine, I mean, didn't get it was. I personally think Sunshine is terribly underrated.
I didn't like Sunshine at all. I sold Sunshine, I think, after probably playing it for about 6 hours, 10 hours. Not a lot. I didn't finish it, but I just didn't like any of it.
But that kind of goes against the argument. Like, why didn't Sunshine get the same 10 out of 10s? I mean, it's not a bad game.
It did get like 9s across the board, and it's now regarded as like being one of the worst Mario games. But at the time, people thought it was like just fantastic. And I don't know. I don't see it. I think that many of those, like particularly the branded Nintendo games, like ones that are a well-loved series, tend to get a bit of a bump. And again, that's not to say that they're bad games and that like there's 2 out of 10 games that are getting 8s. Like, but I think that it's almost like people can make the same argument about MCU movies. Like many MCU movies that are probably a 6 tend to get like Rotten Tomato scores of like in the 80s, just because people really like Marvel, and DC kind of goes in the opposite direction. Oh, well, granted, I hated Justice League, but like a DC movie that's a 6 all of a sudden gets like a 4, you know? Like,
So that again, you don't bring Ryan's garbage argument. Why is Nolan's trilogy across the board 95% across the board?
Well, because I think,
Because
I
they're
don't
great
know. I don't
movies. It
know
has nothing
about
to do with brand.
Dark Knight Rises. I think might get a bit of a Nolan bump, but come to think of it, if we want to get technical. But I think that Batman Begins and Dark Knight are so good that it would be kind of hard to like bump those down. Also, I think that was also at a time where there wasn't as much of a like, oh, Marvel's incredible and DC's terrible thing kind of going on in the media. Though now it's like sort of hard to say because I don't know, you got things like Joker happening and Birds of Prey and like it's all over the map. So I don't think that's as good as an example now as it might have been before. But
all I say is the market determines the market, and you do not get to dominate an industry for over 3 decades and be at the top of that industry like Nintendo has without being superior
then Fortnite's
in
the
every
best
way.
shooter, multiplayer shooter of all time.
Has Fortnite been around for 30 years?
Well, no, but I mean it's making more money than
Mark,
anything.
30 years,
so.
when Fortnite is still the best game in 3 decades from now, then you can have that comparison.
Well, I mean that's kind of cherry picking though, because I mean Breath of the Wild hasn't been out for 30 years. People love Breath of the Wild.
Nintendo as a brand has been doing this for over 3 decades.
Oh, and Epic has. Epic made Unreal in like 1992. Or not 92, sorry, that was a little off. 97? Around the time that Half-Life came out.
What I'm saying is Nintendo has dominated the console market, the handheld market, and the software market for over 3 decades.
I mean, again, like I would argue against dominated, particularly in the hardware market. Nintendo tends to fail and then get lucky, and then fail and then get lucky because they're almost always relying on gimmicks, and I think that almost proves that they're not particularly great at making hardware. They're good at thinking up creative devices that either really hit with people, like the Wii controller or the Switch. Or they have things like the Wii U that just.
But
really
what
don't
happened to
connect
that? What happened? Sony and Xbox both copied Nintendo, and failed laughably and miserably because they couldn't even duplicate what Nintendo did.
Well, I mean, you want to know why that happened though?
Well, because it was a pathetic attempt to copy.
No,
Nintendo.
well, not connected, but PlayStation Move worked far better than Nintendo Wii. But you know the reason why PlayStation Move wasn't successful while Wii was?
I'm waiting.
Because the grandmothers and people who don't play video games who thought that they'd like bowling and playing tennis already had a Wii. They didn't need another one. And like actual gamers were like, yeah, motion control is not really like you get tired of them after a while. It still made it so that everyone had a Wii in their home, or like all the people who weren't gamers before that decided, oh, like bowling in your living room, that sounds fun. And that's why there were so many shovelware games on Wii, like game.
Oh, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of the Wii. The Wii they saturated the market with family-friendly garbage games. I'm not here to dispute that, but at the end of the day, they were still successful. Where then the two big console guys tried to copy them and looked stupid by doing it.
Well, the people who are now doing motion controls better than Nintendo ever has are, well, you could argue Facebook and Valve and HTC. Because VR right now is what happened to motion controls. And I don't know, like, have you ever played like a modern VR headset?
I don't play VR. I hate VR.
Okay, well, I mean, you saying you hate VR tells me that you have not really used proper VR, because VR is crazy. It's more work than just sitting down and playing a game, which is why I think it'll always be fun.
I hated the Wii motion controls too. This is why I don't replay. This is why I don't replay Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, which I think are phenomenal games. But you have to use the stupid motion controls, and I just hate it.
By the way,
Zelda's my favorite franchise of all time, and I cannot stand Skyward Sword for that very reason.
Yeah, I mean, by the way, Andrew is here. Everyone, welcome Andrew.
Hey, Andrew.
And is Krista dreaming of chicky nuggies since me and Marc are arguing?
I know, it's just like a passive thing.
We might. This is not the first time we've had this debate either, Jeremy.
No,
we
it
might
won't be the last time either. It won't be like you're echoing pretty bad, Andrew. I don't know if you're talking through your microphone though. Sounds like you're talking through the webcam. Either way is fine.
It's not too bad on my end, so I don't know if that's going through my Discord that's making it worse.
I hear it too, though. The echo, yeah.
He sounds like he's in a
honestly be my
hallway,
road.
but not. I'm not hearing like two voices or anything like that. That would be.
Yeah,
super
Mark the
distracting.
Cyborg can't stay. I'm at work, but good to see you, man. Jeremy, get this man more exposure. I'm trying because Mark deserves it. Mark makes the best videos for Geeks
Oh,
and
hey,
Gamers,
that's the
hands down.
hate-mongering verbal terrorist of the Toxic Brood.
Yeah,
Praise the
yeah.
dawn.
He does make the best videos. I mean, Mark sits there and puts actual work and effort and time and talent in his videos, and I just sit there and read a fucking article and bitch about SJWs. So, you know, he's far better at this than I am.
It's a time in thing though. Like I also spend like probably. I'm gonna say probably 20 times the hours on each video that you do on yours, and you get far more views than I do. So which one of us is playing it smart?
But Mark's fantastic, and I definitely think the more attention we can get onto his channel and his talents, more people will be coming around for sure. So.
Yeah, my channel though, I'm mostly just streaming on my channel these days. I have been casually writing a script for a new video on my channel that I'm hoping to put a bit more time in, but it may take me time to get to it, though it's this channel that I'm doing weekly videos on. So there will be one video a week from me for as long as I can possibly do it without having an aneurysm. And I'm doing pretty well though. I'm getting in a good rhythm of staying a few weeks ahead on each one, so I've got the next few pretty much in the can, and I'm taking some time now to play games like Astral Chain, and on my own channel I'm streaming Elderborn, and there will be videos coming for these games. This is why I'm sad that I didn't have my instant replay on, so I missed out on capturing a bit of footage at the beginning of this, but I guess we'll see if this 1080p stream did well. Although now I have my face cam in it, so I can't really use stream footage. But anyways, Andrew, how are you, man? we haven't heard from you enough.
I think he's working on his mic now.
Oh, okay.
He might be working on his mic. But I have. Do you have? You have new Call of Duty, right, Mark?
Yeah.
I actually played it a little bit today, and I gotta say, it's pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good. I mean,
I'd be up
played
for
it
playing that again on here if you wanted. That's actually a cross-platform game, so we could all play it together.
That's what I was gonna ask you, if it's cross-platform, because yeah, I played it a little bit when I first bought it, and I'm like, okay, I'm digging this, but I hadn't really played it since. And then of course Season 2 came out, and yeah, I'm actually really. This is kind of like old school Call of Duty. So.
Yeah, and everybody, my review of it is on Geeks and Gamers still, but there is a playlist on this channel that I made where you can access all of my reviews on any channel that I've made anything on from a playlist on Gaming with Geeks. So you don't have to necessarily go to the ones on Geeks and Gamers or the ones on my channel. You can get them all from this one. So.
Okay.
But yeah, the video that we made, where actually, Jeremy, your character does have a bit of a cameo in my Call of Duty review. I don't know if you remember that. But
Say that again.
on the day that we
Chris
did the
I can't hear. What are you eating, Krista?
chicken nuggets.
I'm not eating anything. No, I'm not. Don't blame me. I didn't do anything. I'm just sitting here quietly.
What were you saying, Mark?
Well, I remember because there was a funny joke that you made when you first joined up our first crossplay game, because the default character model was a black guy, and we were like I just had a line from you being like, "I've got my identity worked out, and I am identifying as a black man," and I used that clip in my video because it was so funny.
Hey, it's 2020.
Are you back, Andrew?
Yeah, I'm back. So I literally just moved into my new apartment like a week ago, and I haven't put any furnishings, rugs, nothing. And so that's what the echoes from.
Okay. It's all good.
Andrew, are you from California?
I initially was.
Ah, okay, because
Yeah.
you sort of sound like Ryan, and I get the impression I'm probably going to get confused. The good thing about Krista and I is we're the two Canadians, but one of us is male and the other's a dolphin. So you can tell us apart.
Well, I also happen to have better taste than Ryan.
Oh, fair
Because I
enough.
like Baby Yoda.
There you go.
I mean, at this point, as long as you like anything, you pretty much have better taste than Ryan, because he likes nothing. He literally likes nothing. So
People accuse you of hating on everything, Jeremy. It's really Ryan.
I know. I've told that story many times when me and Gary met Ryan in San Diego. He was super nice, super respectful, you know, like shaking your hand. Hey, Jeremy. Hey, Gary. I respect you guys. Yada, yada, yada. Very well spoken. Presented himself really professionally, and me and Gary's like, man, that guy, he's got it. Yeah, man, he's got a lot of potential. Now he's like, fuck this, fuck that, fuck everything. I'm like, holy crap.
He's gotten
He does hate
angry.
everything. Well, I like this Ryan better.
Ryan is great.
Ryan is great. Super knowledgeable.
You feel cornered? Why do you feel cornered,
Because
Krista?
you're blaming me. I didn't do anything.
I heard the bag of Doritos shuffling.
How do you know if it's a bag of Doritos?
Because it's you.
But I'm not chewing on anything. You're like eating something.
I'll never forget when Marc and Krista were live last week. I tuned in because I think I was at a movie or something, and I'm walking out of the movie. I turn on the camera, and the first thing I hear is Marc saying something, and then he said he was talking really extensively about video games and PCs and stuff, being very intelligent. He says, "Okay, Krista, you got to hold it down for a minute." She goes, "Oh, okay. So who likes Doritos?"
I think actually, so, like a little follow up on what we were just talking about. I was talking about VR. My
Oh, Tom's just here. Hi.
borderline autism memory does recall things like that from time to time.
Say that again. You skipped out.
I said I was talking about VR when that happened, and that my borderline autism memory remembers things like that, even though they're not super relevant, and I probably should unload them.
Got you. Black Phoenix says Dreamcast was so dope. Yes, Dreamcast was so far ahead of its time. I have a Dreamcast. I still love the Dreamcast. Soul Calibur.
I love everything about that console except for the controller.
Yeah, it really needed a second analog stick. I gave Mary a copy of Soul Calibur 6 when I found out that she built a computer. I don't know if she can run it, but theoretically, Mary could play
I get
Soul
down
Calibur
some
6.
Soul Calibur. That's my game.
Yeah, I got it. It was on a Humble Bundle, and I already had it, so I just gave Mary my code.
Now, are you going to get Krista squared away, Marc?
Yep. We already have a plan. I've told her everything that she needs to purchase. I've informed her of the spare parts I have that I can donate to her cause and help her get going a little bit faster. I have plans to go to her town in June, but apparently she might not want to wait that long, but that's on her. I did also tell her a good place where she can pay to have a build performed for her if she's not comfortable putting it together herself, which I think for your first time ever, you might want to have like a guide. Like, I don't know that I'd want to.
How to build a PC for dummies?
Yeah, well, I mean, especially because like
Wait a minute,
you
Marc,
have.
are you saying it has to be a man? Are you saying women can't put together a PC?
Well,
How geeky-
no, but
how
here I'll
geeky
tell you
is
why.
of you?
Because
on brand.
when Krista and I last hung out IRL, I gave her an old motherboard and processor that I had that are still pretty decent, and so they're not like factory parts. Like there will be a bit of like retrofitting going on because they're like pre-owned, right? They're used, and like you may have to take a bit more care for things like making sure they don't get static discharge on them and end up frying. And I mean, like I said, if she wants, like I could send her some Linus Tech Tip videos and she could give it a shot. I would only be concerned that if she's not confident enough, there's a place that a chain that we have in Canada called Canada Computers where it's $80 for a build fee.
Marc, don't let this girl put this thing together. Don't do it. Just get her squared away.
She needs someone to show her her place and all this.
I'm really
In her
sending
defense,
you like
I
a
would
video.
be equally as useless putting together a PC.
Yes, Thomas, that is Andrew from the website that is here, and you're going to be seeing more of Andrew on Gaming with Geeks. As a matter of fact, Krista, do you want to go ahead and tell everybody what we talked about yesterday?
Go ahead and tell everybody what we talked about yesterday.
You know,
Wait,
me,
what
you,
did
and Andrew.
Yeah, you can go ahead with that. Sorry, I'm like a little bit like handsy here.
Or you Doritos.
No, not
Giggity.
Doritos.
Um,
No.
so,
Comments in
Chris,
the chat. I appreciate the comment about my review of Sonic the movie. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to read it.
I will be
Thomas-
taking X-Ray Girl to go see that this week. But
Thomas is
I
great.
did buy a ticket. I bought a ticket
good
even though
man.
I could not go. I was editing my review of Doom 2016 that I know it's a little on the late side, but Doom Eternal's coming out and that game's amazing. Like replayed it this last little bit, and it loses nothing on a 4th playthrough. So that's look for that on Friday, I guess.
I saw a super late showing on the 13th, and the theater was packed.
Nice. Hoping this movie can continue to make some bank. So yes, Krista is going to start doing live streams here on the Gaming with Geeks channel. So you know how she was doing a lot of live streams on her personal channel, which she's finally got monetized. Congratulations to her. And so she's going to be doing a lot of live streams here on this channel. You know, so we can try to get this watch time up. And then Andrew is going to be in the near future, not immediately, but in the near future, he's going to be streaming a lot on Gaming with Geeks over on Twitch. So very excited about that. So we just have a lot of moving parts going on right now.
There you go, Krista. You got competition for Geeks and Gamers Twitch thought.
I can't compete with that.
You just got to show more skin, man. That's the key.
Is it?
I'll do my best.
Yeah, Krista, we gotta teach Krista how to be a better Twitch thought. I think it was Ryan. I was talking to Ryan and we were talking about her, and he's like, does she realize, I think it was Ryan, it might have been someone else. He goes, does she realize that the camera is supposed to point down for her to be a Twitch thought, not up to her forehead?
The camera kept going off.
It's a problem she's got, because you're just running it off a PlayStation camera, right? Like the PlayStation Eye?
Yeah, but it's she doesn't have the little holder for it.
Yeah,
so
and
that's
kind of that was going to be my guess. But yeah, no, it was actually kind of funny because X-Ray Girl says that she doesn't even want to like come on Discord and say hi or anything because she's super shy about that stuff. And then I was telling her, I was like, you know, really, like if I started streaming you playing a VR game, like wearing something low cut and just like playing Beat Saber, we could probably buy a house. And she's like, really? I'm like, yeah, like you don't understand. Like there's so many thirsty dudes on the internet that will just pay to see good-looking women playing video games. That if you're doing one that involves you bouncing around, like I'm serious, we could buy a house.
Hey, I'm serious. After seeing the pictures of Ryan as a woman on Twitter, I'm really thinking about going ahead and that's going to be Chris's Twitch thought competition right there. I'm going to buy Ryan a wig. I'm buying Ryan a wig and. We're gonna make a lot of money.
Well, the thing that I was actually going to test out tonight is I wanted to see, like Krista just said that she wasn't set up for it tonight, so we didn't do it tonight, but I wanted to see if I could get her on a Discord video call and then through my Streamlabs add a second cam so that we could both be talking to the chat like this, but then 2 of us, or even 3 of us could be on camera, or 4, like I guess 4 would be in this situation. I don't know that I can make it work because I haven't tried it, but I think I can. I'm getting better at using Streamlabs.
We need to get a, and I have been having some people on the team work on it, but we need to get a, maybe a template, kind of like how EFAP has their little template, you know?
Yeah.
A little Geeks and Gamers template for our live streams.
Oh, my sister just got stabbed in the chest.
Wait, what?
Like, not in real life, in the game.
No,
Oh
I
my
know.
gosh.
Sorry, emotional moment.
Context is everything.
But yes, an EFAP like
50
template
likes.
that we
Thank
can
you,
just
everyone.
an
Thank you.
overlay that we know for sure. Yeah, awesome.
Make a fine trial run.
Okay, so now I did think this blonde woman was attractive, but she just killed my sister, so she needs to die. Probably towards the end of the game, though. That's my guess. We might have a boss fight going in here.
Yay!
But yeah, I guess if I can find a way to get the chat overlay like EFAP has so that the chat can actually be on the screen itself, that could be pretty cool.
Yeah, I can ask Mahler how he does that.
Yeah, ask
Pastor-
Muller how I can
Pastor-
make my streams better.
Pastor G says, been checking out more of these videos. You guys are awesome. Well, thank you, Pastor G.
Thank you
Appreciate
very
that.
much.
I did see Pastor G said, Knights of Krista, is that a new cult? The Knights of Krista are the mods for Darth Barbie to protect her from all of the internet dudes who are constantly chasing
Like
after
Ryan.
her.
Oh,
So, no. So,
anyone against Baby Yoda, just like, you know, trying to be mean to me and saying bad words and things,
boy.
yes. But you can join the Knights of Krista today.
yes, you can. So Krista, unlike 99% of everyone, I'll say 98% of everyone else at Geeks and Gamers, she doesn't like the bad words. So I guess that puts her in the camp with Odin and Josiah, and that's about it.
Yeah.
So the pagans and the Christians. Josiah the pagan and Odin the Christian.
You're not allowed to swear near a baby.
Good stuff. But yeah, I'm really, really happy. And yeah, everybody, you're going to start seeing more from Andrew, who's a writer for our website. And, Caffeinated Comic Books. You're going to see a lot more from him on this channel and on Twitch. So looking forward to that. So, Andrew, happy to have you on board, buddy.
Happy to be here. I'm stoked for this year.
Yeah, I mean he's been such a soldier for Geeks and Gamers for years now, and Andrew knows a lot about a lot. You know, he's just one of these guys that just knows. He's got knowledge in all departments: comics, video games, movies, television. He's pretty good around the board. So
You keep talking me up. I'm gonna have to actually be intelligent instead of just faking it now.
Just do what I do, slickly edit everything you do. It's going to be very hard to do while live streaming on Twitch, though. You're going to have to be quick with Premiere.
let me see. Switch accounts. I'm going to make Andrew a mod real quick on this channel.
I made chocolate chip muffins today.
Oh my
I
god.
have been eating keto for the last week and a half, and I really want sugar.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing some Call of Duty with you guys. So we'll have to get that set up. Maybe do another long stream.
Well,
get with Ryan.
there's the thing I can say good about Fortnite. One thing that Fortnite did was
Here we go.
make it made cross
Cancel the cyborg.
It made cross because I'm the one who hates Fortnite. Let's not forget that. It made cross-platform play a more reasonable option for a lot of the platform holders, in particular Sony. They were the big holdout on it, and I think it was actually Nintendo and Microsoft teamed up and did a tweet where it was like a PlayStation, an Xbox controller and a Switch controller being like, "Hey, we can play together," and then they like tweeted it at Sony or
Yeah,
like
it was for
something to that
Minecraft,
effect.
initially,
Oh,
I
it was
believe.
Minecraft. Oh, okay. Yeah, so Minecraft, Fortnite, and Rocket League were the three big ones, and then Call of Duty was the first, I'd say, truly like mainstream pay-to-play game, like you could say hardcore gamer game that's done it. And
See, Rocket League is one of those games where if Nintendo would have made that, I would have believed it. But I mean, obviously it didn't. But like that game is phenomenal.
yeah, and
Like,
epic
and
boss
it's such a
psionics,
it's
so.
such a simple concept, but it's such a masterful concept. I mean, that Rocket League is incredible. I love that game so much.
The concept for that one was just a head scratcher for me. Like I played soccer for 10 years, and I love cars, but
Soccer with rocket cars, baby.
So
You played
good.
soccer, you've driven rocket cars. Put those two together. Why not both?
Is it too much to ask for both?
Oh man, such a great concept. So
Ever since I saw the film Wild Things in 1998, the answer to why not both is always no reason. Go for both. If you don't catch that reference, you don't understand why this is an adult content stream.
oh man, good stuff. Let me see. Yeah, and thanks everybody. We got 51 likes on the video.
And I just killed the sandworm looking thing from Dune. And maybe the G weapon from Resident Evil 2, I don't know.
Ew, look at it.
Resident Evil. Resident Evil.
I've been meaning to start this game. I have it. Nintendo gave me a digital copy, and if I power on my Switch, I'm playing Mario Kart, Breath of the Wild, or Pokemon.
Well, I'm hoping that one of the Platinum 4 is going to be a multi-platform port of this game. My hopes are multi-platform ports of Bayonetta 2 and 3, multi-platform ports of Astral Chain, and Vanquish 2. As like if I could pick what the next 3 campaigns. Oh, I got D? Seriously? Damn it! I got an S+ earlier. Sorry, I'm upset about my rankings in this game though. Yeah, everyone
As
play
much as I
Vanquish.
love my Switch, Bayonetta 3 being exclusive to it would be a waste of that game, I feel.
That is the same developer who made this game, and for some reason Nintendo is publishing like all their stuff now, but they are starting to do self-publishing. They just launched a Kickstarter that I made a video for on this channel actually for Wonderful 101 that was previously a Wii U exclusive and now will be on PS4, Xbox One, and oh wait, maybe not Xbox One. PS4 and Steam for sure, and Switch. But maybe not Xbox. I should actually look that up again. I don't know what their stretch goals are these days, but Platinum Games, great developer. Everyone support them, please. They're really good.
Anyone gonna get the PS5?
I will be getting one, yeah.
Yeah. Like as soon as
I
it
gotta see
comes
what the
out.
price point's gonna be.
I'm going
They're having
to...
trouble keeping the manufacturing costs under $450 right now, which, if they want any kind of a profit, means it's gonna be at least $500.
Probably going to be $559 in Canada. That's what the
Yeah.
Xbox One X cost at launch. I'm assuming it's probably going to be that price as well, but Krista might understand what I'm saying. I have like 400,000 Optimum points, like at Shoppers Drug Mart, and Shoppers Drug Mart actually does sell video game consoles, so I'm planning on just continuing to bank those until November and then getting one there. Also, like, I mean, even for making stuff on this channel, I think that I should probably have the console that's going to be releasing high-end exclusives.
Accuracy
Oh, maybe
might
my
be
sister's
good.
not dead. Sweet.
Looks like
She
Oh
got
my God.
stabbed in the chest.
Can we get that?
For anyone just jumping into the stream,
It's a miracle they made it out.
there's context behind this.
That was pretty funny.
It's why you got to look at the game that I'm playing, everybody, or else you're not going to understand what I interject with when it happens.
There is still a chance of
He thought his
infection.
sister died, now she's alive. Yay!
Run another
Yay!
Huzzah.
check. Make sure there's no sign of mutation.
Also, Brenda, the
never-
blue-haired scientist,
Brenda.
hot.
We can take it from here. Go
Oh,
back
somebody
to
says,
HQ.
please clip that. Yeah, we gotta clip
Everyone
that.
know
All right,
Oculus.
I'll be back in just a few.
But doctor,
Okay.
Cool.
Brenda, please.
All right, so Andrew, what would you say your favorite games are? I think this would be a good one for people to get to know you a bit. Even if you can't narrow it down to like a specific one, give us
Legend
like
of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Thank you.
okay. Oh, is that number one?
I see.
Number one.
All right, so
I
we
played through that game 100%
See what this
on every console it's been released on.
did you like? Are you
least
old
once.
enough to have played it at launch?
Yes.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
and I might have been
My
enemies.
first game I ever played was the original.
You and I though might have been enemies in the schoolyard then, because I was a Metal Gear Solid person.
I don't have anything against Metal Gear. I can't wrap my head around Kojima's concept of storytelling.
Oh,
but
he is a weirdo. I'll give you that. But I just remember
gameplay-wise,
that
it's
in like
excellent.
I was in 8th grade at the time, and it was like there were the N64 people were flipping out about Ocarina of Time, and me and all the PlayStation guys were flipping out over Metal Gear Solid. And I also
I
played
got
on
you.
PC back then, and I was trying to tell people about Half-Life, but no one was listening.
literally couldn't be in better hands.
Oh, are you still excited for Half-Life 3?
Absolutely. Although Half-Life Alyx, I think, is probably going to be what we're going to get so far. Are you making a joke about Half-Life 3?
I was making a joke.
Well,
about
I mean,
Half-Life
like,
3.
I think there's certainly people out there who don't know too much about Half-Life that assume Half-Life Alyx is essentially Half-Life 3, even though it's a prequel to 2. But I do have. Oh, actually, wait. I'm
So
on
it's a
camera.
pre-sequel.
Yes, it is a pre-sequel. I have a Valve Index that I shall be playing Half-Life Alyx on if I figure out how to stream VR games in a way where you guys can actually see what I'm doing.
No matter what.
Oh, cool.
But duty is one thing.
As far as what you were saying with the being enemies on the schoolyard, I never
To keep you safe.
wrapped my head around that concept either. Like, I'm not a Sony guy. I don't work for Sony. I'm not a Microsoft guy. I don't work for Microsoft, and I sure as hell don't work for Nintendo. I'm just a video game guy.
Fair enough.
There are
And yeah,
games that I play
platform
on each of
agnostic
those
is-
consoles, and I own those consoles specifically for them.
Platform agnostic, I think, is the way to be as long as you can afford it. I tend to advocate for everything coming out on every platform that is capable of running it. And there are people that I would argue are like the people with what I would call the fanboy mentality that don't see that as a good thing. Like, try to think. Oh, when the news was coming out that Horizon Zero Dawn is most likely getting ported to PC, or Death Stranding, talking about Kojima, I saw tons of people in like gaming Facebook groups that just be like, "Oh, that's so stupid. It should stay a PS4 exclusive." And I'd be like, "Why?" They'll be like, "Because it makes the console worth owning." And I'm like, "Yeah, but." What about, like, if you love Death Stranding and you like, because you have it on PS4 and you think it's a great game, what about it coming out for PC and having other people be able to play a game that you love would make you love that game less? and they would unironically be like, well, it makes it less special. And I'm like, man, like, how do you look at yourself in the mirror and say that that is a take and that is the one that you decide to go with?
Yeah, well, I just lost brain cells. That's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, so no one have that mentality. Good games being played by as many people as possible is what we should be striving for, which is why I kind of hope that PlayStation starts leaning more towards Xbox's direction. I think what might be happening with PlayStation this generation is that we'll see almost kind of like what Epic's doing, where a game will be PS5 exclusive, but maybe for like a year or a year and a half, and then it'll eventually come to PC. I think Microsoft might start leaning harder in the other direction, and I think it's possible we might start seeing Microsoft Game Studios games on PS5. It probably won't happen in the first year because that's when the console wars will be happening, but if Microsoft keeps leaning in with just like, no, what we want is for you to be signed up to Game Pass, we don't care what you're playing the game on, then I could see them being like, hey, so you want to play Halo on your PS5 or what?
Right, because they're receiving that residual revenue
Yeah.
regardless, because people have the subscription, and that's where the money's going to come in, as well as the kickbacks that they get for it being a Microsoft Studios title to begin with, and that financially makes more sense.
Mm-hmm. Well, even actually, I was just editing my March new release video, and one of the new releases is Bleeding Edge, the new Ninja Theory game, and I was able to get footage of the beta, because the beta was running this past weekend, so there's me playing in this new release clip for a game that's coming out at basically the end of the month, and it was for pre-order and Game Pass. I would not have pre-ordered Bleeding Edge, but I have Game Pass, so I just downloaded Bleeding Edge to my computer and played it on Windows 10, like didn't have to move over to my Xbox or anything. It was awesome. And if I could do that for PlayStation games, like if I could just like pay Sony $10 a month to be able to play God of War at like 1440p at 160 frames a second, do you know how happy I'd be? All right, I'm getting some story stuff. Krista,
The
did we
idea
lose you?
of console exclusives is nice, but in the bigger picture, it makes more sense to have more people get access to those titles.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think like Jeremy and I have kind of come up against each other on this too, with him saying that he is of the opinion that one of the reasons why Nintendo is able to make their games as good as they are is because of the level of creative control due to the fact that it is on their hardware. I don't really agree with that, although I do kind of see where he's coming from. And people have made that argument for me about Sony too, that they get games like God of War that aren't loaded with microtransaction because they're also getting 30% of every other game being sold on the PlayStation Store. And I still think that kind of is an argument for the software. And when you're trying to make an argument about hardware, the second you're like, well, the software it has, it's like, well, no, but what if that software was on another thing? And it becomes a circular argument where they're like, well, it's not because it's on this. And I'm like, but what if it was? If it was, what about this hardware makes the hardware the thing that you want to get? And some people don't see it the way I see it there. Because I'm like, look, if I have a computer that can play video games and play them well, why do I need to spend $500 or $560, whatever it ends up being, to buy a PlayStation 5 that's less powerful than my PC so that I can pay Sony more money to play their games when I have a machine that can run their software just fine already? And I would still give them money. I would probably give them much more than $560 over the course of the time that I'd be buying PlayStation games. And if their margin's going to be as thin as it is on the hardware, I'm not really giving them that much money for the hardware itself. And I probably wouldn't be playing any multi-platform games on PlayStation. So ultimately, they'd make much more money off me if they just let me buy their games.
Right, like I have my PlayStation 4 primarily for the exclusives. I play most of my multi-platform titles on my Xbox One X because it's more powerful and I want them to look as good as they can.
Yeah, that's where I played Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, and as far as the Nintendo thing, that's a tough topic for me because I love Nintendo and I hate Nintendo simultaneously. So
I'm pretty much right there with you.
They drive me nuts, but then they make my favorite games ever, right? They'll tick me off for years, and then they'll come out with something where it's like, oh, wow, I just dumped 350 hours of my life into this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I get where Jeremy's coming from, and I think I'm like I'm the half and half. So Nintendo, there's two different arguments. I think there's the hardware argument and there's the software argument. Software, I think Nintendo does, as Jeremy said, kind of have the magic in more cases than not. Hardware, I think, is a different issue. So, and it's proven itself because they have had hits and misses. So they've had software that's incredible, like on the Wii U, which was an immense flop.
Mhm.
But they had some really good games on it.
Wonderful 101
nobody
being an
played.
example.
Wonderful 101, Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker was cute as hell, and just a great puzzle game.
Tropical Freeze.
Donkey
Donkey
Kong
Kong's
Tropical Freeze was incredible. That was the best Donkey Kong game since Donkey Kong Country 2.
Yep. And Mark never played it.
Is it on Switch now?
Yes.
Yep, it got ported to Switch. Almost every.
But see, Mark, you tried to tell me that you didn't have no games. You didn't play the games. Tropical Freeze was.
No, Jeremy, I never once said it had no games. Not even a single time did I say that. It's just.
But that was that was my whole argument why the Wii U was a fantastic system with a all-time terrible marketing campaign.
And my argument was that it was a horrible system with a good software lineup, that if it was running on a system that sold better, they would be games that would be played by many more people, which is why so many of the Wii U games that are getting ported to Switch are now doing quite well. I'm so happy I can now play Bayonetta 2 because I've always loved Bayonetta. I've made like 3 videos on this channel where I've referenced how sexy I find Bayonetta.
But my whole argument's been Nintendo has never been about the hardware. It's always been about the software.
So why do they make hardware is my point then.
Because they still have the control.
And like I think that creative control is something that Nintendo has earned regardless of where they put their stuff. And like I think that when you just look at things like, did you ever watch that footage I gave you of the Wii U emulator running Zelda Breath of the Wild at 4K and 60 frames a second? Don't tell me that didn't look fantastic.
I mean, it does, but again, Nintendo fans don't care about that. Like, we just care about the magic that they put into games. We don't care about
all
graphics.
the gamers though that just like boot up, even me, like to an extent, that boot up Breath of the Wild and are just like, oh, this is fine, but like, man, this game runs like trash. I like it, and if I get into it and get my eyes used to it, I can do it.
If you're looking to play these games, I say buy a Nintendo console and you can play them.
I have them. I put like
what are you complaining
150 out
about?
because it runs terribly. Like compared to how Breath of the Wild, the Wii U version of Breath of the Wild runs on a decent PC being hacked. Like I was just like, Nintendo, why won't you just let me pay you to play that? I don't want to have to hack your game in order to have that experience. I want to give you money for that experience.
We talk about video game companies that don't care about anything. They whore themselves out. We have Call of Duty, we have Madden, we have these yearly titles that they just shit these titles out. Right? They just shit these titles out with a couple of little minor upgrades. They put overpriced DLC on it. They don't have any heart into them. It's all just just make money on top of money on top of money. Nintendo actually cares about the product they put out. Nintendo is not going to sit there and go, hey, we know we can make 3 times as much money, so we're just going to whore our console or our games out. That's not how they are. Well, they care about the product that they are producing.
You know what Nintendo does to milk people though? The prices of their games never drop. Like, you could try to buy a copy of Mario Galaxy today, and it'll cost you $50.
Hang on, but you have a GameStop manager right here, which is Andrew. He can tell you that Nintendo fans don't trade their games in at the level that any other fan base does.
They really don't.
Well,
they
what about
do not trade these games in.
But they don't. The new copies don't reduce in price though.
Because there is no used market for them.
Well, no, but there's not a used market for anything now.
So I gotta jump on in that specific comment. They don't drop the price of their games. Why should they?
Yeah,
if I'm Nintendo and people are buying my games at $60 consistently year round, why would I drop the price?
Because it's not consumer friendly.
Market determines the market.
If you want more people to play your games, if you want more people to enjoy them, if you want to develop more fans,
that's not what they're wanting. Mark, you just said why don't they shit their games out to every console and every PC so they could? That's not what they want. They want to build a product where they control the product, where they don't lose any creative aspect of it, and they don't put overpriced DLC. Do you think they can't put a $50 DLC on Mario Kart and sell like hotcakes? But they put a $15 DLC on Mario Kart 8. They put a cheap DLC on these things because they care about what they're doing. But why should they drop the price of their games when they're selling? That's insanity.
Well, because every other company
Darth Barbie
drops...
says, Ryan, get in here.
They do it for the same reason as they always underproduce their products as well. So they do it to create kind of a synthetic supply and demand issue.
Yeah, and that's horseshit.
Value.
Guys, you shouldn't be defending that. That's evil. It's bad. It is them doing a bad thing.
What's evil?
Creating an artificial supply and demand on digital merchandise. It's stupid. It is like the only reason they get away with it is because people let them.
Look what happened when they didn't do it with the Wii U, and they lost hundreds of
millions. That had nothing to do with them not creating official supply and demand. That was people not wanting the
they did
unlimited
a bad
supply
job of
that
marketing. They did a bad job of marketing.
They had
The Wii U was a massive marketing flop. That's for sure. They didn't differentiate the fact that it was actually an entirely new console rather than what a lot of people thought initially, which was, oh, it's just a little cute Fisher-Price tablet for my Wii. I don't need that.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I'm not going to start defending the Wii U because I don't think that it was successful at all. But I think like when you take a look at like the platform that I always consistently argue is the best platform for games right now, CD Projekt Red's CD Projekt's GOG. It is DRM free, meaning that you just own your games forever. There's nothing about a GOG game that makes you have to handshake with the server. Many games, like for example, I bought Wolfenstein: The New Order and Wolfenstein: The Old Blood, 2 games which I have already, which I paid full price for on PS4 when they came out, and also bought them on a Steam sale that I bought again today, both of them for $11, and now I own them forever. Like, it doesn't matter if CD Projekt goes out of business. I never have to handshake with their servers. I never need a disc. I wouldn't, but I could copy it to a hard drive, give it to a friend of mine, and he could just have those games and own them. That is consumer friendly. That is them saying that, like, we trust you to want our products enough and want to support us, so we'll let you just essentially have legal cracked copies of our games. Nintendo would never do anything like that, and like it's impossible to make the argument that Nintendo is just as consumer friendly.
What isn't consumer friendly to put forward a product that people want to buy and that people are happy with,
and that they hold on to for years?
Yeah,
well, no, because it's not everybody. Like, you guys are talking like everybody buys Nintendo games and everyone's totally happy with it.
Right now, okay, so I just went to FijiCharts.com. This past month, the Switch sold twice as much as the PS4, and 6 times as much as the Xbox One. And the Switch has surpassed the Xbox One, which had a 2-3 year head start on it, and it's made up half the ground on the PS4.
Microsoft's been
the Switch is dominating
ever since the Xbox One first launched.
The Switch sold 95,000 copies in North America. That's twice as much as the PS4. It sold 70,000 in Europe, 3,000 behind the PS4, and it sold 101,000 in Japan for a global total of 309. It's doubled the market.
Okay, but like, what about any of this argument is talking about it being consumer friendly or not, or good for the consumer? You're just talking about sales.
I'm talking about that people are supporting them financially like crazy. So clearly they're happy with it. Like, if anything, Xbox is the argument here. Xbox is a piece of shit. Microsoft is a piece of shit. They can't keep people happy to save their life.
I don't know. Game Pass is making a lot of people happy.
My Xbox, but I can't argue against that.
I have an Xbox One, but Xbox is a piece of shit. Yet we're going after Nintendo.
Well, do you know what, Jeremy? Do you know what Game Pass is?
Do I know what is?
Do you know what Game Pass is?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the paid subscription thing or whatever.
Yeah, but do you know what it gives you for how much?
I have never had it.
Okay, so Game Pass, the way I got it was upgrading my Xbox Live subscription for $1. I had an entire year on it too. So for $1, basically, I mean, granted the normal price of it, I believe, is $10 a month, and I think it's $14 here. But you have a massive, and I mean truly massive, library of games. that you can download to your system. It's not streaming. It's not anything like that. It's the reason why I was able to get footage of Bleeding Edge for my March new release video, because it's mostly for pre-orders, but it's also, if you have Game Pass, you can just download it. The new Ori game, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, you don't have to buy it if you have Game Pass. You can just download it to your Xbox or your PC. It's
What is your point?
It's a very consumer-friendly service. What they are doing is far more consumer-friendly than anything Nintendo's done in years.
You're picking out one thing. If they're so consumer-friendly, they wouldn't have completely ruined their top seed in the market with the 360.
Well,
That
like the
E3,
launch of the
they
Xbox One was
destroyed
totally
it
botched.
because they got
but I'm
super
talking about what's
greedy.
happening now, Jeremy. I'm talking about what they have been doing since, how they're turning things around.
But
How
the
they
point
took
is
that
Nintendo's
failure.
never done that. Nintendo's never ran their fan base off. Nintendo has never been abandoned by their fan base because they've never
Except
done
for the
anything
Wii
to
U,
make their.
like.
Hold on. The people that bought the Wii U loved the Wii U. The problem was the marketing was a disaster.
Yeah,
Okay,
but like
the
I mean,
marketing was
those
a
things
disaster.
aren't mutually exclusive. Like having a
But what did Nintendo
like,
do? Nintendo didn't double down and go, "Oh, you guys are all fucking retarded for not buying our
they
system."
made a
No,
system that did not satisfy the consumer market that they were going for.
and immediately they fixed it instead of
I don't know about immediately. They like pretty much crashed and burned and had to like they basically released two systems within one generation.
Hold on. Are you going to ignore the fact that the 3DS was the best-selling system in the world at the same time that the Wii U failed?
I mean,
Yes,
no,
you are,
no,
unless I
not
point it
not
out.
ignore it, but like now you're talking about a different market, and you're talking about a market that's getting crushed by mobile phones now. Like,
What are you talking about?
yeah, do you really think that more people are playing games on 3DS than on their iPhone right now?
I mean, what I'm saying is when the Wii U failed, the 3DS was the best-selling console in the world. So to tell me that Nintendo failed, they failed in one aspect, but at the same time, they were still the single most successful developer in the world at the same time. But you're failing to point that out.
And they pivoted to focusing.
I don't know. Like, I still
3DS.
think you
definitely
guys,
saw
I think,
that
are mostly
success.
pivoting away from Nintendo's very anti-consumer friendly practices, which was my point, back into like, oh yeah, but people buy it. And I'm like, well, that's not really what I was talking about. Like, I was talking about whether or not what they're doing is good for the gamers, the people, the people who are actually buying their stuff.
Well, I can relate that to a very current year thing. So if something is truly anti-consumer, then the consumers don't consume. Look at
Right.
Birds of
That's
Prey.
my point.
Well,
That's my
I mean,
point.
look at the Epic Store. Like, I mean, I've been rallying this entire time about how I don't think everyone on this channel should be playing Fortnite. People still do it, but that doesn't mean that their exclusivity practices aren't profoundly anti-consumer. They just have a hit like Fortnite that is making a lot of their audience ignore it.
Does Mark skip out for everybody else, or is it just me?
Hello?
He is.
Happens for me too.
Yeah,
He's
every couple of
Canadian.
minutes he
He's
skips
Canadian.
out for a couple of
Yeah.
seconds.
Yeah, Mark, you were skipping out, and I was
Oh,
just making sure.
sorry about
I was making sure it wasn't just me, so I wasn't derailing everything.
Okay,
No,
no, but
Mark is an elite. Mark is an elitist. He doesn't like Fortnite. He doesn't like anything that's not a PC. That being said, Nintendo is garbage. I hate when I have to go to a GameStop for a release of an actual game on a real console. And I think I'm there to pick up my copy of Call of Duty, but oh crap, Super Mario buttfuck is on right now. So you've got all these unshowered, like, I don't want to be insulting, so I won't use any words that might offend people, but they're unshowered. They're not the best, like, interacting with other people. Maybe they might be on some sort of spectrum. I don't know. But you have a bunch of people that are there. They're smelling the joint up. I don't like it. I don't like Nintendo.
You've never heard the Call of Duty launch at GameStop?
Well, I was there at this one.
I have
Yeah.
worked one. I mean,
Yeah, I would say that again, I've never worked at GameStop. Bless you, Andrew, and anyone else who works at GameStop, because I would never be able to work at GameStop
Worked
because
at
people
GameStop
are
and a Best Buy.
fucking- People are retarded, and like I don't know how many times I could deal with that mom calling up, looking for like an Xbox or PlayStation and asking for a Nintendo. I don't know how many times I could deal with that mom saying, "I want to buy my son a Nintendo." You're like, "What? You want a Switch? No. What do you Xbox? No. PlayStation? Yeah, the Nintendo PlayStation.
Oh yeah, you know that happens more than you'd think. I can't tell you how many times I have been asked about a Microsoft PlayStation while working at Best Buy. It was horrible. I was like, no, that's not a thing.
Yeah. Also, I would just like to point out that comparing Switch sales right now to PS4 sales, I think is a little silly. When you literally have people anticipating like the PS5 coming out and actively talking about how much it's going to be and all this stuff, and the PS4 is so old. I think that comparing Switch sales to that at this time are, I think it's kind of apples to oranges. It's both fruit, but I don't know.
The Wii U is what came
Yes
out
and
around
no.
the time of the PS4.
If that's the argument, then you can at least go back to the year that the Switch launched, and the Switch was the #1 selling consumer electronic in the world.
Yeah, but
I mean, see,
And
but
every
here's
year
what
since.
here's where Ryan and people like Ryan and Mark that don't like Nintendo, they
I
seem to
like
think
Nintendo.
They don't.
I just don't give
bring
them a
in the
pass on
reality.
everything.
Here's the reality.
My
Nintendo-
eyes function at more than 12 frames per second.
Hang
I'm
on,
sorry.
hang on. This was on January 30th when the Switch hit 50 million consoles. I'm on a website right now. It's Nintendo Switch reached 50 million consoles faster than PlayStation 4. That is the point I was making, was that the Switch is at a faster rate than the PlayStation. It has destroyed the Xbox, and it is selling faster than the PS4 sold.
Well, that's also why Jimmy
what's the
Kimmel is
price
the best
point?
YouTuber. Like, I
Oh,
mean,
so now, wait a minute. Now the price point. Wait,
I'm
now the
asking,
price point?
I'm asking you what the price point is.
Why didn't you bring that up initially instead of the whole, well, it's just apple to oranges? Why
I've
didn't
been
you bring
here
the price
5
point?
minutes, motherfucker. That's why.
The point is...
Krista, cover your ears.
Wait a minute. The point is that the PS4 is a great system. I have a PS4, but the Switch is selling faster. Period.
Yeah,
well, the Switch is also, again,
there's a lot
the
of
second console that Nintendo has released in what is effectively one generation, because they failed on one very badly and had to pivot hard. They did that well. I am playing on that system right this second, and it's a game I like a lot. So I don't know where this, like, oh, Mark is a Nintendo hater comes from. Like, I'm streaming a Switch game right now, Jeremy. Come on. But I'm just
I'm
saying.
not really a Nintendo hater. I'm a Nintendo person hater. To be fair.
Well,
and mostly because they just want to slob on the knob of Nintendo at every chance they get, even if they give you an 18th Fire Emblem character in Smash DLC. And then when anyone says anything bad about it, they're like, "Oh, you just don't get it, bro. Not Nintendo, bro."
Well,
you dislike my fucking video.
Wait, did you hear they're adding Mario characters into Fire Emblem Fighters?
God, are they really?
Yeah, I heard they're gonna put Link in there and the guy from Persona,
That's interesting.
Joker?
Snake and Samus.
Well, which Persona? I'm gonna assume Joker from Persona 5.
His name is Akira.
All right, hey,
but
I hate to break up this love fest that I'm having with my friends over Nintendo, but I do have to bounce because my mom just came over and I've got to talk with her. So
Jeremy, I'm telling your mom.
Oh, your cell phone's dying, Jeremy.
Put your mom on, Jeremy.
Yeah, but yeah, so Andrew, I'm glad you're on here so you can get a chance to talk to Ryan directly. I want you guys to communicate because, like I told everyone, Andrew is going to be creating content for Gaming with Geeks. It's going to be on the Twitch channel. I'm very excited about that. Also, Krista, just because I like Ryan, and what's going to happen, and just so everybody knows, I want to say this live with a whopping 52 people watching. One day, Ryan is going to steal everything Geeks and Gamers from me because he has almost all the passwords now, and I think this was his big plan from the start. I think he's undercover SJW. I think he actually had pink hair, but he dyed it before he met me.
It's a big brain maneuver. Big brain maneuver.
Playing the long game.
Big PP.
The
big
long
PP.
con.
But Krista, get Ryan the Twitch info just for him to have
Okay.
it. But yeah, Ryan's one day you're just gonna wake up and Ryan's gonna be on every video game or video. It's just gonna be turned into RK plus Outpost or something like that, and it's gonna be over. So
That's right. And you know what? It's kind of like Hollywood. I don't care what you want. I'm gonna give you what you need. So that's what it's gonna be. And yeah, Andrew's good with me because the first thing I basically said in chat was that Nintendo fans don't care about showering, and he laughed. So he's good. He's good in my book.
dude,
he
he
knows
works
it's
at
true.
GameStop. He knows every fucking gamer. How
were-
terrible?
I see all kinds.
I was
How terrible is
a seasonal temp at EB Games, which is Canadian GameStop, during the PlayStation 2 launch. I was 15.
EB Games.
Are you so
I've seen all
Andrew?
kinds, but it's different demographics. It depends on where you're
Right. So let me ask you, in your experience, what's the when do you roll your eyes the most for a midnight release or a release game? What crowd really
at.
gets
It's
you?
Call of Duty. Call of
Not
Duty.
Fortnite? Well, that's right. Fortnite's all.
No,
digital.
Fortnite's all digital. And it's all microtransactions.
Oh my lord! So Fortnite and GameStop ran this this promotional deal during the holidays for some like minty pickaxe code, which to my understanding, since nothing matters in Fortnite, it's literally just a skin for some stupid item. And the day that launched, I kid you not, every 35 freaking seconds, we got a phone call with somebody on the other line that sounded like they barely knew how to dial the number, asking if we had the codes.
Was that you, Krista?
Maybe. I'm not gonna say whether it was or not.
Speaking of Nintendo people,
So-
one of my best memories of like a fanboy at EB Games was there was a guy who went to the high school down the street, and every single day at almost precisely like 12:15, like it was just about 10 minutes or so after his lunch started, he would come in and say, "Hi, do you have pre-orders out for Metroid Prime Corruption on the Wii?" And I'd be like, "No, not yet." I'd be like,
Of
"Dude,"
course he asked about the Wii. Yeah.
I was like, "Dude, you can just call, and also you can just say Metroid Prime 3. Like I see you here every day. You don't have to say Metroid Prime 3 Corruption on the Wii. I know the subtitle is Corruption. I understand what system it's gonna be on, and you ask me all the time. So, dude, if you're in the audience right now,
be specific. I just wanted to be specific for you.
yeah,
I think
he's a good kid though. I didn't hate him. but,
luckily
Yeah,
for
triggered
He's a
with
little
that,
annoying.
That voice that you were doing right now, Ryan.
well, luckily and unluckily for Andrew, he probably won't have to worry about working at GameStop too much longer because I don't know if they're going to be around in 5 years.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll be pissed. I have an Xbox One copy because there was no way to get a PC copy of the collector's edition of Cyberpunk 2077 pre-ordered at a GameStop and fully paid for. So if mine goes out of business before Cyberpunk comes out, I'm gonna be pissed.
Oh,
And that was the only
reason
reason I was upset about that delay, because I don't get upset when games I'm looking forward to get delayed, because I'm just like, okay, the game wasn't ready, they needed more time to make it. But with the pending possible collapse of the GameStops and EB Games around the continent, I worry about my like $300 on what's essentially just a Cyberpunk statue.
God, I can't believe you bought that. It's
Hey,
crazy.
I support CD
If you look
Projekt.
and see how dope the statue is, you wouldn't be that
No,
shocked.
there's other stuff that comes with it, but it's mostly like I'm just gonna give away the copy of the game that it comes with because I also have it pre-ordered on GOG, the best store. But it's more that like I support that company's practices, their consumer-friendly business practices, so I think they are worthy of getting that money.
All right, I have to bounce, so discussion can now go back to Chicky Nuggies and Baby Yodas.
Yeah, we should
So,
let Krista take the lead for a minute here.
God.
I haven't heard from her
just
in like an
on a
hour and a
serious
half.
note, really quick, as you guys know, we do cover sports here at Geeks and Gamers, and Ryan Newman during the Daytona 500 suffered a horrific crash.
Oh.
I'm looking for
Really?
updates right now. It's bad. I mean,
Oh, God.
go to my Twitter. You'll see the replay of the wreck. It is I mean, I used to be a big NASCAR fan. I don't watch it that much anymore, but this wreck is truly terrible.
Yeah,
and,
that's rough.
That's
I
sad.
think that there could be some serious news that we could get. I'm not sure. I mean, they're not saying anything right now, which is worrying me. But it looked really, really bad. So I've been watching Ryan Newman for a long time, and
He's
I
an
hope he's okay.
Indiana guy.
Yes, he is. So I'm hoping everything's going to be okay, but we will continue to monitor that. So positive vibes to Ryan Newman and his family. And other than that, you guys, I appreciate it. You guys keep doing a great job here on Game of Geeks, and I'll talk to all of you later.
All right, Jeremy, take it easy.
I think I have a Sports Wars video to make. So.
Okay. All
Looking at
right.
that.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Damn.
I
Rough way to leave. Fucking
well, yeah,
down
and just I guess
everybody.
my
Thanks,
only
Jeremy.
tag along to that is
Somebody might have died in a car accident.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
and that's rough. Like I'm a medic in the army, and as part of my training, I had to work as a civilian paramedic. So I've seen a lot of car accidents, and the bad ones are bad. I'll say that. They usually don't go super well.
Yeah, I'm not a NASCAR guy, but that's
Yeah,
truly
it's
tragic.
not a good thing to have happen to another human being. But anyways, Krista, tell us about these
Hi.
nuggies of yours.
These nuggies is mine. I mean, I don't make nuggies.
You're the expert in them.
I'm an expert at nuggies.
Well, are
Says
you?
who?
Of the people on this chat, would it not be you?
Oh no, I just love nuggies. I'm not an expert at nuggies.
Oh,
I know
okay.
where to find them. McDonald's is my favorite place to get nuggies, and last week I ordered a whole bunch of them and ate a lot that I made myself sick.
Oh,
I'll still eat them though, they're still good. What about you guys?
I
haven't had
am
McDonald's
trying to
chicken
figure out
nuggets
how
in
to
forever.
get into this thing, because it looks like that is a door that I don't have the ability to open yet. Because I don't recognize that sword.
What was the question? Was the question for a bunch of people? What was it?
What was
Question?
was there a question in the chat? I've been playing
No.
the game.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was listening to something. I thought Krista asked, "What about you guys?" or something like that.
Yeah, like
About
do you
our
like
our thoughts on nuggies.
yeah. Like, what's your favorite nuggie?
Well, I mean, I love McDonald's. Just with ketchup, like a child.
No.
Yes.
So gross.
No, it's not. It's awesome. You're fucking kidding me.
Ew,
You don't
wait,
understand
no.
ketchup.
We don't understand ketchup yet. We have ketchup chips.
Yeah, actually,
Look,
we have ketchup
when you
chips.
go,
You guys
okay,
don't.
wait. When you go to McDonald's and you order nuggets, do you get the ketchup in the packets, or do you get the pump? You know, like you go get the napkins and all that.
If I'm there, I use the pump. If I'm going somewhere, obviously I don't use the pump. I use packets, packies
Okay.
and nuggies.
Well, let me tell you guys something that's gonna make you stop using the pump and start, taking it from the counter, because there was this one guy that came into McDonald's, and I'm assuming he was home, I'm not sure, and he put his mouth pump and
Ugh.
maybe it was you, Ryan, but he started pumping ketchup into his mouth.
Yeah,
Oh.
there's nothing wrong with that.
What do you mean there's nothing wrong with that? That's so unsanitary.
I do it with ranch
Yes.
too.
Oh, ranch is just gross. Unless it's dipped for something.
What about mayo? Do you guys like mayo?
Hate
Yes.
it. I hate
Like,
it.
I
you
also-
use a spoonful?
I also like the tangy zip of Miracle Whip.
Gross.
I wouldn't eat a spoonful, I'm not weird, but I like mayo on like burgers or sandwiches or whatever.
Fries?
Yeah, like if I'm making burgers, then I'll put some on the buns, but also with other things like barbecue sauce and/or ketchup.
Yeah. Ketchup, mustard, mayo, yeah.
Not mustard.
Okay, I
Mustard.
figured it out.
I don't like mustard.
Thank you.
Yes.
Mustard's fantastic. You're all crazy.
Two weirdos found each other, I guess.
What's better than
Mustard is
the,
disgusting.
okay? You guys don't understand. The Vietnamese had it right. The true condiment, the Uber condiment, if you will, is sriracha sauce.
No, I'm just done
I
with
like
this. This
sriracha.
happened last time I was on this stream. We
Sriracha's
talked
good.
literally about this. What is wrong with you?
Because
Krista?
that's where
This
I
is-
always end up going, and it's not only because I'm dating a Vietnamese woman. It's part of it, but not the whole thing.
You cut out, so I don't know if you uttered like a racial slur. I don't
No,
know.
no, no,
if
no, no,
you-
no. I
was
said that
insult.
my love of sriracha
Oh.
sauce is not only because I'm dating a Vietnamese woman, but that might have something to do with it.
Cut out the same time.
It's even worse that time.
Seriously?
Really cut out again at the exact same.
Okay, can you hear me now? Is it just am I too far away from my mic? It's a problem with me playing with a controller.
Probably. Let's hear it one more time, and let's assume it's not a racial slur.
Okay.
Go. It's not only because you're dating a.
Vietnamese woman.
There we go.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
That sounds better than whatever racial slurs you were uttering before, Mark.
I am not a
I was gonna say, we
racist.
can clip that and edit in literally any other word on the.
Why can't I put this woman down though?
What?
I'm carrying a woman in the game,
Oh,
and I want to fight these bad dudes. Yeah,
Alright,
just
guys,
have to
I gotta
use
go. I gotta
my-
make a.
my
I need to
Legion?
make a Sports Wars video about Ryan Newman.
I thought you were doing the park hopping one now.
No, that's drunk 3PO. That's not me. If it was me, I'd be trashing parks, which hopefully I'll be able to do someday.
Not
Because
for you.
theme parks are awful. They're literally the worst of everything.
Stop.
There are a bunch
Okay,
of
you can go
people
now.
that you don't know. There are a
Go.
bunch of there are a bunch of people that you don't want to be around, that you have no choice to be around. There are often a
Don't you
lot
have
of
to go
people.
Make a video?
There are often a lot of people there with children, just letting them run around wild. It is often hot there. You're often sweating with other people. that are
Sounds
even
pretty
more
cool.
smelly,
It's like the Lord
and
of the Flies.
And they are sweating. And also, you have to wait in lines for no apparent reason. You have to walk around everywhere when you don't want to, and
Get
you have to
yourself
pay.
a fast pass.
You have to pay a ton of money not only to go there and for a fast pass, but also for any food. You want French fries? That'll be $25, please. You want ketchup? That'll be $2. It's awful. It's the worst. But yeah, go subscribe to Park Hopping because a lot of people think they're cool. All right, bye
What a way to
guys.
promote it.
Also, subscribe
nice
to
meeting you,
Sports
Andrew.
Wars. 'Cause,
Oh, Ryan, you take care.
All right.
He never
Bye,
used to
guys.
be like this.
later, Ryan.
I was always like this, Krista. Bye.
No, you weren't. Bye.
You're breaking
He
my
was
heart,
never like
Anakin.
that.
So
He
much
used to love Baby
unabated
Yoda.
hate.
He used to love Baby Yodas and Chicky Nuggies and time where he didn't even like ketchup. But I don't know what happened to him. I think Santa Claus didn't come to
This
his town.
world will break a man down.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of those worlds that'll do stuff like that. Sometimes
All
they
it
don't
takes
think
is
it'd
one
be
bad
like
day.
it is, but it do.
I want to thank everybody for the 60 likes. Thank you so much.
Oh, we got 60.
Please be sure.
We got
Yeah.
67 on my screen.
Ooh, okay.
We've actually got more likes than we do people watching at the moment.
And please be sure.
Well,
to
that's good. That means
subscribe.
even the people who left like us. That's a good.
Says Ryan.
Oh wait, maybe now I can move over.
At least where I'm at, it's pretty close to dinner time, so there might be a lot of people.
Ooh, it's pretty
Munching
close to my bedtime, and I'm still on lockup duty at my clinic. So I have to. If my duty phone
Ooh.
rings, I will have to answer it. But luckily, it has not yet. Though at any point, a doctor could just call and be like, "Hey, I need you to open the clinic up because I have to do some paperwork, even though it's midnight and you were sleeping." And I'd be like, "Yes, sir,"
Yes, sir.
because it's the
That doesn't
military,
sound
and I
like
can't
the
just be
life.
like, "No."
Yeah, fine.
That's awful.
Yeah. Technically, it's also a federal crime if I skip work.
Really?
Yeah, it's AWOL. It's not something you're allowed to do.
Well,
It means away without leave, though, so if you get leave, you're good. And that's why on Thursday and Friday this week I have leave, and also why I got some
What
of my
happens if you're
work done.
sick, though?
Oh, you have 2 sick days a month that you can just call in and have your boss give you sick time. And if you're like legit sick, you just come into basically where I work, and we examine you and decide that you're sick, and yeah, and that's pretty much it.
oh yeah, so you can't even fake it.
Well, I mean, you have 2 a month where you could theoretically fake it, like, or I mean, but it depends on how much your boss trusts you, because it would be up to your chain of command to decide, okay, this guy's trustworthy, he called and said he's been vomiting all night, let's just let him sleep in. And you have 2 days where you can do that. But if you keep on doing that, and like you're on like day 5, it's like, okay, well, let's maybe not trust this person anymore, because they've lied about it in the past.
That makes sense.
Do you guys like going to Costco?
Okay, this is weird. I thought that I figured out how to open up.
What did you ask,
those-
Krista?
I said, do you guys like going to Costco?
I do,
Costco?
but I
Yeah.
do not have a Costco card. Actually, I grew
Yeah,
up
I
with
don't
them,
I don't have one, but when I did back in California, I mean, yeah, giant box of cereal.
Yes, I love it there. You just hide. Play hide and seek there. You get free samples of food.
I was about to say, get all the free samples.
Yeah, I can use the
Cycle
toilet.
around.
Yeah. I love it there. There's another place in America. It's kind of like Costco, but over here. It's a
Oh, Spiteful117 said that you and I are goats, Krista, but not like bad, but like greatest of all time.
Oh, I know. Greatest of all time. I already know what that means. I'm a Zoomer. I know these things.
Oh, okay. I'm a millennial. I'm an elder millennial though.
You're the Millennium Falcon.
Oh yeah, sure. We can call me that. I'd be amenable to that nickname. The
I
millennial
too am a
Falcon.
millennial by most classifications. Sadly.
1984. The cyborg who was born in the same year Terminator came out. That's
Pretty awesome, actually.
I'm not the Terminator kind of cyborg, though. Keep on trying to tell everybody that. I have a human brain and heart. I'm more like RoboCop.
I love Robot.
Everyone should love RoboCop. He's the best. He's too good for this world. Rest in peace, Murphy.
Captain Winkster in the chat. I'm a millennial, but I identify.
Okay, right there. Sorry,
He gets it.
you cut out there. You're a millennial, but you identify
As Gen X.
Yeah, that's a good generation to identify as. They're the best at being pissed off about stuff. They don't enjoy anything.
So what you're saying is Ryan might be older than we think.
It's possible. Or maybe he just identifies as Gen X.
That's
Ooh,
true.
I found the civilian. Hello, person.
How old did you think I was, Andrew?
You're 23,
21.
I want to say.
Yeah?
Wait, which
Like,
one of us
when
is
you
right?
First... Oh no, what I mean to say is like when you first saw me. What was
When
your
I first
guess?
saw you in person or online?
Both.
Well, okay, I think online or in person I already knew your age, so that I might have shot you younger than I did if I saw you in person first. Online though, I probably figured you were mid-20s. If anything, I thought you were older than you were. But I think only because the profile picture you were using at the time like made you look slightly older.
Okay. Alright, understood.
There we go.
Thanks for the good emojis.
I'm fighting what appear like Pokemon of some kind. I don't know what kind though.
Krista, were you born this millennium?
They
I was born
remind
in
me of
1996.
Final Fantasy.
Oh yeah, that makes some sense. I mean, I guess in the way that you're actually fighting them, the Flans are more gooey.
Mm-hmm. Just their movement animations remind me a lot of, and even their idling.
Oh,
animations
here,
remind me of
favorite Final Fantasy. There's a question.
8.
8. Oh, that is a curveball answer.
8's my favorite. 6 and 9 are, I go back and forth on which is the best.
9, I didn't like 9 very much. I love 6 though. 6 is my favorite. 9 I could never get through though. It never grabs me anytime I ever try to play it. And I know that's an unpopular opinion, but
It is. But that's fine.
I'm a 6 and 4 person, and then I'd probably give it to 7 after that. And I like 15 more than almost everybody else. I actually really like Final Fantasy 15, and no one agrees with me on it. But to
I
be
like
fair,
things about 15.
it's not much of an RPG. It is more of an action game. Actually, not too dissimilar from this, as far as like it having a really intense kind of kinetic combat system. But
I actually really enjoy the Final Fantasy 13 trilogy in retrospect.
See, that
First
I
time
never
played
played.
through them.
I
I
can't-
was like, what is this? This is not. If I don't look at them as Final Fantasies, instead just look at them as JRPGs, I wind up enjoying them far more because then I'm not comparing them to the character development and overall story quality of the others.
and
Favorite
that's
Halo game, Spiteful117. My favorite Halo game.
oh, he cut out there. I didn't hear that. What was his favorite Halo?
Halo Reach is what mine is.
Oh yeah, solid pick.
Both in terms of the campaign, because I think it did the best job of making it feel like it was a war that the humans were losing, as well as the multiplayer. The multiplayer, that's the one that I was the best at.
See, I definitely agree with you on the campaign. My only real complaint about the campaign I kind of touch on in my Best of 2019 video on this channel. Halo Reach is on there because of the PC port of Halo Reach that just came out, and I guess it also came to the Master Chief Collection on Xbox One. But
Yeah, I actually just recently restarted playing that.
Yep, and I got through it again for the second time now on Legendary. It was actually significantly easier with a mouse and keyboard. But I like the campaign. The level design in Reach I think is probably the best in any Halo game. And I love the story, but the story is also what I hate the most about it. And the reason for that is that it has a lot of really, really gigantic continuity discrepancies with The Fall of Reach, which was a novel that came out at the
by
same
Eric
time.
Nyland.
Yeah, and it's a fantastic book. Like, it really holds
I've
up.
read it about 4 times, actually.
There you go. Eric Nyland's Fall of Reach, guys, if you're a Halo fan, read that, because it is a very, very good book. Like, I've actually most recently, I read it when it first came out, like when Halo came out when I was a teenager, and read it again around the time Halo 4 came out, and loved it. And I was like, wow, this is like seriously one of the best. It's probably the best military sci-fi book I've read, with the possible exception of Starship Troopers, and it's a way easier read than Starship Troopers. So
First Strike was also excellent. I don't know if you read that.
Yes, I did. I've read all the Halo books up until I think the Thursday War was the last one that I didn't finish, but that's kind of where I tapped out. Because Halo
I read
4...
up through Ghosts of Onyx, and that was...
Oh, Ghost of Onyx is... I was going to say Ghost of Onyx. I think that was where I was leading, was I think Ghost of Onyx is the best one. That the ending... I guess, okay, I won't spoil exactly the context, but the ending of Ghost of Onyx will make it so that every time you hear the phrase Spartans never die in the games, it will probably make you well up with tears.
Oh, yeah.
It instills that in you. Like, you understand what that actually, like, kind of means in a way that you wouldn't had you not read those books. I've heard that the Halo books really dip off in quality after a little while, and really the only reason why I don't say Reach is my undisputed favorite Halo game is I've got that dissonance about, but it kind of can't exist in the same timeline as Fall of Reach, and I really love Fall of Reach.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise, I mean, I think I'd probably just go with the safe answer and say 3. But 3, I think, is easy, just because it's the one with the most satisfying scenario, I guess. Not even really campaign. The campaign's really good, and but I think the campaign on Heroic is probably better than Legendary, because it's not called the Flood, or is it?
The Flood.
The Flood, no, not the Flood, like the species, but the level where you're in the Flood. The Flood, it's a Covenant ship, but it's like overrun by the Flood. I think it's like the 9th mission. That one is very frustrating on Legendary. Like, it's to the point that I'm like, ooh, this one's rough. It's like getting towards Halo 2 Legendary Jackal Sniper is frustrating.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas Halo Reach doesn't ever have it. Like, it always really keeps you up against the wall, but it's never that bad. Like, the challenge in Reach, I think, is always reasonable on Legendary, and every time you die, it's kind of your fault. Or, like, you feel like there is a way for you to use strategy to have a better outcome in a run that you were going through, whereas in Halo 3 and definitely in Halo 2 on Legendary, you feel like you need to get lucky.
That was the case a lot in Halo 2 and Halo 3 on Legendary.
2 especially. The Jackal snipers in 2 were unreal. Like, the Jackal snipers in Halo 2 on Legendary were basically just, at any given moment, you could be one hit killed by an enemy that you haven't seen yet. And it might be like 10 minutes since your last checkpoint.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely atrocious.
Sorry to cut you guys here, but it's 9 o'clock and I have to now. It was nice talking to you guys.
Krista, before you leave,
as
what's
well,
your
Krista.
favorite Halo game?
Huh?
Before you leave, what's your favorite Halo game?
I haven't played Halo.
That's why we need to build your PC.
Exactly.
Oh, that's right.
Exactly.
Master Chief is on PC.
It is now. That's why I recently played Reach, and why Reach is on my
Everyone's
best of
telling
2019
me
list.
Play this game, that game, and it's like I have so many games to play, guys. I know. I'm getting there.
Well, it's a good thing you're an aspiring Twitch thought, or I guess YouTube thought.
Exactly.
If you're gonna move back over to YouTube for streaming and let Andrew take over Twitch. So Andrew's our Twitch thought.
There we go. He's the new Twitch thought, guys.
I'll have to work hard at it.
Nice talking to you guys. Hope everyone has a good night. Chat, you guys are amazing. And yeah, don't forget to brush your teeth, everybody. Bye.
Brushing your teeth is very important. That's why I'm sad I have to shave my beard after I'm done playing. I hate you, coronavirus.
All right, bye, guys.
Take it easy.
Take care, Krista.
All right. Oh, and look at the timing. It seems like I'm at a cinematic that is not similar in style to the other ones that have been in this game. I've got like a monochromatic comic book sequence. Oh, I guess there's been one like this.
So what are your early thoughts on the game so far?
I really like it a lot. My only problem with it is two problems I'd say I have with it. I think that some of the signposting for the puzzles could stand to be a lot better. There is quite a few moments in this game where I feel like I'm kind of wandering around and not exactly sure what I have to do, which I've been streaming nearly every minute of this game that I've been playing, so like people could even go back and watch the VODs and see precisely what I mean by that. I always eventually figure it out, and I guess you can also see, because I've been on cam, I'm not consulting secondary sources or guides, so it's not impossible, but I don't know, I think that some of the puzzles could stand to be a little more intuitive, and that's more of a design thing, but it's kind of the only design problem I have with it. The only other problem I have is the hardware thing. I think that this game is too ambitious technically to be a Switch exclusive. And I'm not saying that it needs to be on my platform. I would prefer if it was on PC, but if it's not on PC, I would definitely have a better time playing this game on Xbox or PlayStation. Granted, I'm a person who, like, I'm far enough along in my life and my career that I can afford to have a decent PC, a Switch, an Xbox, and a PlayStation. And one of the reasons I tend to advocate towards multi-platform games is that I get that a lot of people aren't in that situation where they do have to just kind of pick one platform to be their platform. But I think that from the way I could turn that around on design is that I know Platinum is capable of making games that run at a fairly consistent 60 frames a second on Switch, like Bayonetta 2 and hopefully Bayonetta 3. So I'm a little disappointed that that their eyes were a bit too big on their stomach, and that they've gone with what I'm actually sad that even in the mid-console rotation that Microsoft and Sony seem to go for, which is like, yeah, let's go resolution is the most resolution, pretty graphics, and we're shooting for 30 frames a second. And I'm just like, how about we don't care about resolution and exactly how amazing the games look in screenshots and think more about frame rates and performance and how the game actually feels. Which is why I was so happy to hear Phil Spencer made that statement about in this generation they're going to look at frame rate as being their primary goal, and that made me so happy to hear, because I'm just like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It looks to me, just from the of you playing it this whole time, it's a game that wanted to be made for the other consoles.
Yeah. And I think that Nintendo just gave
it's not like they're not capable of it, because Bayonetta 1 and 2 on the Switch play just fine.
Mm-hmm. And again, I think it's an eyes are too big for their stomach thing, and they saw that like games like Breath of the Wild and Dark Souls and Skyrim run at 30 frames a second on Switch, and people seem to love them. And I'm just like, yeah, but like, I mean, it's the other thing that I wish about that, and one of the reasons why I do tend to lean towards PC is that I wish I just had graphics settings I could modify. I wish I could go into this game and just turn down these fire effects, turn down the resolution a bit, turn down everything, and just get it running at 60. Make it look like it's a PlayStation 2 game, but if it's running at a solid frame rate, I'd be like, okay, well, if I really want to use photo mode and take a nice looking screenshot, I'll crank the settings back up, but if I want to play the game and have better reaction time for the combat in this character action game, I'll get the thing running at 60 frames a second.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that's my only wish for the next generation of consoles. I hope that they're both very successful and that they come out at reasonable price points and that everything about them's awesome, but I hope that the thing that they do is make it so that, if anything, I hope they add display ports on them so that they can start shooting for even 60 plus frame rates and getting like, because now there's things like NVIDIA is licensing out G-Sync technology to companies like LG, and you're getting TVs that have like 144 frames hertz and G-Sync compatibility, and I think that's amazing. But I don't think that stuff is going to be adopted widely if consoles don't start pushing it. Because
it's funny, I'm actually looking at a secondary gaming monitor right now that's 144.
Yeah, it's actually Krista got me to send her a shopping list for PC stuff because she's looking to build a PC, and I said, okay, do you already have a monitor? And if she said yes, I wouldn't have sent her one, but she said no, so I sent her one that's $350. It's an Asus. It's an Asus, but it's their mid-range, and it's a FreeSync monitor, but with G-Sync compatibility, and it's 1080p, 144 hertz, and I don't know if she would understand me saying this, but I would be like, okay, but the reason I'm sending you a 1080p monitor and not saying get a 4K monitor is because if you're shooting for 1080p, you can save a lot of money on every single one of your other components, first of all. Like, you don't have to have as good a computer to have things look incredible. And if you have it at 144 hertz with like a solid variable refresh feature on it, like G-Sync or FreeSync, or in this case both, then I think that her content is going to start looking pretty neat. What she does with it is up to her.
She's going to skyrocket and take off real fast.
Yeah. Well, I had when I was on a military course that was past her city. So I stopped and visited her, and we actually hung out in real life. And I had a spare motherboard and Ryzen 7 1800X that was from one of my old builds that I was going to sell, but I was like, whatever, I'll just give it to Krista, and then that way maybe it'll be someone else on Geeks and Gamers that'll start playing on PC. Because right now it's just me and Uche.
PC with master race people.
Yep.
The argument can't be made that it isn't the most powerful platform. There's no question about it.
And I think it's less, for me, the argument is less about the power, because power, when it comes to power, if you're going to make it's the most powerful console argument or platform, then you have to also be factoring in cost and how much money you're actually putting in, whose PC you're talking about, and that can't really be understated. But the part that I think is actually the most important thing is the flexibility of it. That you can do things like change your graphics settings. You can do things like run different drivers. You can do things like try to run a game that is out of your minimum system requirements, but do things to like overclock your processor and your graphics card to see if you can squeeze just a little bit of extra horsepower out of your machine and get that game running at something acceptable for you. And I just wish that you had that freedom on the other platforms. And I get why you don't, because the second you give people that freedom, it makes things seem more complicated. But it's why I've kind of, in the last like few years, I'd say 2017, like it was because it was after I lost my leg, was when I switched over to PC, and I honestly can't ever see myself going back at this point. Because the reason I bought a PC,
give you the option to tool around with those, but not.
There are, but it's still just like a few options, and I really love that about it. And I found it was actually much more common on the first few games that were on PS4 Pro when I got it. But for example, Horizon, which I think was one of the best looking PS4 Pro games, it didn't give you the option. You just had to run that thing in 1440p upscaled 4K. And the HDR looked amazing in Horizon, but I would have loved a performance option. I really like that God of War gave you one, even though it was kind of like 45 to 50 frames a second as opposed to 60. But it did. I always like playing in that more than the 30 frames a second mode.
Yeah.
Because it's
the
a game
PS4
that
Pro didn't quite have the power as well.
Yeah. And Xbox One X, I think the only game I did pick one up because I got one on not Black Friday but Boxing Day, and it's what I ended up playing. Oh, maybe it was Black Friday because it wasn't too long after Red Dead Redemption came out. And I played Red Dead Redemption on it, but that's pretty much the only game I've played on it because nearly every other game that comes out on Xbox I play on PC. Which, I mean, I really, like, people say, oh, yeah, that's why there's no reason to run an Xbox. And I'm like, yeah, but for me, that's why I like what Microsoft's been doing, because they're not, like, making me buy a new system if I want to play, like, Ninja Theory's games or Obsidian's games. Like, I can just run them on my computer. And with Game Pass, I feel like I don't even really have to pay for them. Like, Bleeding Edge, my most recent example, or, what was another? Outer Worlds. Oh, no, I'm down. How to use my batteries for my thing now. Should have been
just
paying
about
attention.
everything that is available on Game Pass is, at least anything of consequence, is cross-compatible as far as you can play it on PC.
Yep. Or at least all the new launches.
Value.
But at the same time, though, I will buy the games that I want to own, even if they are on Game Pass. Mostly to support that developer, so that they still have it listed that I have Game Pass, but also say when Hellblade 2 comes out, I'm going to buy Hellblade 2. I'm not just going to play it on Game Pass, because I love Ninja Theory. I think they're a great developer, and I don't think I'm gonna buy Bleeding Edge because I don't think it's really my kind of game. Like, sinking time into an Overwatch like multiplayer brawler isn't really something I can see myself doing with enough regularity that it would be worthwhile for me to pay for it. But Hellblade 2 for sure, and probably Project Mara, because Project Mara looks really good as well. And I would have bought, full out bought Outer Worlds, but for some reason on PC it was Epic exclusive, and I don't really want to buy things on the Windows Store if I can avoid it, because I know it will be coming out for Steam, so I figured, okay, I'll just play it on Game Pass for now, and if I like it a lot, I'll pick it up on Steam whenever it comes out on Steam.
Yeah, I still haven't tried that one out. I have that one as well.
It's pretty good. I think the role-playing options in it are a little on the limited side. It's really hard to be mean to anybody. Like, kind of your only option is to be a nice guy. And I think that's fine, but like for an Obsidian RPG, I'm just like, oh man. Like, I really would like to be a jerk to people sometimes, even though I think the kind of player I am, most of the time I probably wouldn't. I probably would end up being nice anyways, but, you know, it's just...
For me, it's always situational. Like in Witcher, when you had to be a little more diplomatic, or, yeah, this guy's being a bit of an asshole, I'm gonna put him in his place. Same with the Mass Effect trilogy.
Yeah.
I'm almost always 100% Paragon. And I replay through that trilogy annually. I love the trilogy so much.
I am a big fan of Mass Effect. I love
But
Mass Effect too.
they're,
I really didn't like Andromeda though, which probably isn't a huge surprise.
I wasn't aware there was another Mass Effect after 3.
No, 3 was the last one, didn't you hear? They did 3 and then they did the director's cut of the ending, and then they stopped.
Yeah.
Then they stopped forever.
3 was a bit of a letdown in a lot of ways, but there were a lot of things that they had improved upon.
Yeah, I'll
2.
admit I was always a Mass Effect 3 defender, even when it initially came out, because I saw a lot of the, like, oh, like this ending, it's just like there are 3 versions of the same ending. I'm like, yeah, but like the ending is kind of happening throughout the whole game. Like, there's a lot of different ways that, say, the Quarian and Geth encounter can end, because I made that resolve pretty peacefully, and my friend told me, he's like, oh man, no, like, Talia died, and like they eventually like ended up killing each other. Yeah, I know. It was just like, holy hell, like that seriously happened? I thought this was like a game where you just pick the 3 colors for the ending and that's it. I was like,
yeah,
oh no, like the ending.
What lights do we want on the tree this year?
Yeah, and like, I mean, the very last scene, sure, that is the case, but I think that the ending of the trilogy is kind of happening throughout all of Mass Effect 3, I think would be my argument.
My stance on Mass Effect 3 is that it's a great game, 10 minutes or so. All the nonsense with the space brat and the picking the colors that you want, that was lame. And for me, just felt hollow. But everything else was, I think, a pretty satisfying wrap-up to a lot of the different stories that were being told throughout the trilogy.
Yeah, and that's a solid point. It's like you've got a rough 10 minutes that happen at the end of like a 50-hour game, so, or like 30 hours, man, I don't know. Actually, I don't even remember how long 3 was. I know that 2 is the one I definitely sunk the most time into, because I got the Platinum Trophy in 2 on PS4.
Yeah, I 100%
PS3,
completed all 3 of those games, both on PS3 and 360. I love 2. Like, every single time I restart the trilogy, I'm looking forward to playing 2 the most.
Yeah, it is the Empire Strikes Back of video games.
It really is. It had the best character development, it had a phenomenal overall story, but it also had a more personal story than the other ones.
I think that, like, there are still people who make the argument for, oh, sweet, the Beast, Astral. So, wait, now I'm gonna actually, I think, tame the puppy. Sorry, in this game. I've been calling all of the Astrals, or the Legions in this thing, puppies, because they're on leashes, but, this one's actually like a canine. But yeah, I don't know, like, I've always kind of disputed people that are like, oh no, Mass Effect 1's definitely the best one. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I mean, it, like, the story is good, and what happened with Sauron.
It had the deepest RPG elements.
And I think that might be what I didn't really care about as much, and I like maybe it's just me looking at it from a person who at the time was more into action games, but
That's fair.
it's pre-Witcher 3, and I've also never really been huge into CRPGs. I think the only CRPG I've really sunk a whole lot of time into actually was Knights of the Old Republic, which people would maybe argue isn't really a true CRPG, even though I think it is.
I think of the trilogy, the first Mass Effect does not hold up very well.
Yeah, because I think its
If you
shooting is
play
just kind
through
of
it
bad.
now, yeah, its gameplay mechanics are really rough. The story is great, the characters are fantastic, but the gameplay just does not hold up.
I think Mass Effect 1 to me always felt like it was trying to be Halo a little bit, but it wasn't really learning the right lessons from Halo.
It
like-
didn't know how to do combat.
Yeah, like it was like, oh yeah, no, we have like recharging shields, and like it wouldn't be cool if like all your ammo is the same thing and it just takes different amounts of different stuff. And I'm like, yeah, well, I mean, it's fine, but it's kind of interesting, I guess, but it just doesn't really feel very good to shoot. Where Mass Effect 2,
Yeah.
I think, really started to nail it. Like, I think
And
you
Mass
could
Effect
make
3,
the
they got it
argument
down.
that, yeah, you can make the argument that like the Gears of War games have better shooting than Mass Effect does, or Mass Effect 2, but I was like, I don't think it's that much better that like I felt like I was just going through the motions on shooting in Mass Effect 2 and 3. Like I think it was good enough that I was on board for it.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking about a part of this game that wants to be 60 frames a second. I'm like, I'm having trouble reacting to some of these attacks.
There's too much going on screen for the
Oh,
power
okay.
listing.
I just now realize what I have to do. Ah, no, go in here. Okay, lift up. Seriously? I gotta like aim that thing to throw it to. Oh. Yeah, we threw him. All right, let's go. Attack the puppy, my little puppy. My cybernetic robot ghost thing.
It's Ifrit.
Oh, Ifrit, yeah, not bad. I
What are
will
your
probably
thoughts on the Final Fantasy VII remake?
I might be just taking my PC Master Race claim on it, whereas I think I might just wait. Oh no, don't die. Sorry, gotta concentrate. No, oh my God, I'm actually dead. And I have no batteries left in my defibrillator. That's the first time I've had to continue this entire night, though. But anyways, I think that I might just wait for a PC version of it, unless actually the people on this channel really, really want me. Oh, does this just keep continuing, or am I? Oh no, this is the beginning of the fight. Okay, sorry, it just went to a cinematic, and I was like, what? Does this game have like no fail states or something, where you just keep going? But because it's episodic. And like they are just releasing like Final Fantasy VII Part 1, I have a feeling that in a year, or year or so, because it's Square Enix, they're just going to release it on PC and Xbox anyways. And probably it'll be much closer in proximity to when Part 2 is going to come out. And I just, like, people are like, oh, but then you'll have to wait a year for Part 2. And I'm like, I just have a feeling they're not going to get away with doing an episodic part and have, oh, Part 2's out, but if you want to play Part 2, you have to buy a PS4. Or PS5, I guess. I just don't think that's going to happen. Like, I'm like, I don't know. I think the industry might be at a point where people aren't going to put up with that anymore. Like, especially when it's not like a first party game.
Right. I think the choice to make it episodic is going to do some damage to it. I don't think it's going to break it, because people have been clamoring for a full-on remake of Final Fantasy VII for years, because fanboys think it's the best one in the series. But I don't know, like, that's one of the two complaints I have with it so far. One, it being episodic, so it's like, well, it took them this many years just to get out the first episode. How many years is it going to take for them to get out the second?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that part of that was just so it's like, okay, people are clamoring for this game so much, we can't spend 6 years developing this game. Like, we need to be able to get this out in 3. And even, like, CyberConnect 2 was originally developing it, the people who made Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. And they got kicked off. So something wasn't right with this game as it was. And the game's looking all right now, but I'm just like, yeah, but I don't know. Like, I think that this game might end up being a lot shorter then people are really expecting it to be, even though people are saying, oh yeah, it's episodic, but they said each one's going to be like a full game size. And I'm like, well, that means nothing because a Call of Duty game is like 5 hours.
Right, and then Call of Duty is a 10-hour campaign. If you're
Yeah.
what's your measurement there?
I know, and that's why I'm just like, we're not really going to know until the game's actually out. So I'm less on board with people being like, oh, well, like, obviously the game's going to be like 60 hours, and then part 2 is going to be 60 hours, and the game's going to be perfect, and it's going to play amazingly. And I'm like, yeah, well, I mean, I hope so, because I don't want any game to be bad, but part of me just, my instinct is going wait and see on it. And I, like, the only reason I might pick it up at launch is, one, if, like, curiosity really just gets the best of me, or I'd say reviewers I trust are saying really amazing things about it, then I might cave, and, or people on this channel are just like, yeah, we really want, like, a Gaming with Geeks review or, like, impressions video of Final Fantasy VII, because then I'll look at it as a work expense at that point. I'll be like, okay, well,
Yeah.
as if people really want to see it, it's fine. But also, like, I mean, if it's a long JRPG, like, I do also have a full-time job, and I gotta get videos out once a week for this channel, so it's like, well, I don't really have time to play a 60-hour game unless I know it's gonna be a really solid video.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's difficult when you have a full-time job playing.
Well, especially if it's a game
RPGs.
that, because usually what I've been doing lately is I kind of don't, I've sort of have this thing where I don't want to sink the time into a video if it's a game I don't like. So I really only cover games that I like. So I think the one upside to that is all my content is pretty positive. Like, I don't have a lot of like, oh, this game's trash and you should never buy it type videos. But if it is a game where it's like, okay, well, you guys want me to cover this, so I'm going to cover this game regardless of what I'm actually going to think about it, I might have no choice but to make a negative review. Because what I do now is if I start playing a game, like on one of the many games that are in my Steam library, and it's like, I don't really think this game's very good, I just decide, okay, so I'm just not going to make a video on this. Like, I will play another game and make another video. Like, that's going to be fine.
Entirely reasonable. Why sing something
It's actually, I didn't intend. I just finished making a video of Doom 2016, and I did not intend to. I did because I started playing it just for. My channel got monetized, and my monetization stream was like, okay, I'm gonna play Doom on a difficulty I've never played before, and I ended up having so much fun that I was like, oh man, I want to finish Doom on ultra violence. And then I was like, oh man, I like this game so much, and there were enough people on that stream, like Jeremy and Ryan and Krista, who had just never seen Doom 2016 before. And I'm like, oh man, I think I should probably make a video on this. And I honestly think it's the best video I've made for this channel so far. I think my Sekiro video is probably still my best, my best video overall, but of my Gaming Geeks videos, like my kind of mini reviews, I think my Doom one is, at least as far as I'm concerned, the strongest one I've made. I'll let everyone else decide, though, once it comes out on Friday.
Right on. And that game had a lot of quality and heart put into it.
Ooh, yeah. And it really, like, it honestly loses nothing at all on repeat playthroughs, too. Like, I've played it 4 times on 3 different platforms, and it is awesome every single time. One of them I played on a Switch, and it runs like trash on Switch, and I needed about 10
Surprising
seconds.
no one.
I needed probably 10 seconds of footage of the Switch version for this video, and I ended up playing it for an hour. On my, like, 165 hertz gaming monitor, where I could have easily just been playing the PC version, but I just got sucked into it. I was like, man, this game is good to the point that I will play a bad version of it just because it's in front of me right now.
That says a lot about the quality of the game.
Ah.
Jason C in the chat says, this game reminds me of Phantasy Star 2. I love that game. I haven't played a Phantasy Star.
Phantasy Star Online 2, or like full-on Phantasy Star 2, like
he says
Genesis?
He says Phantasy Star 2, so he might mean Phantasy Star Online 2, but I'm not sure. Jason C, if you want to clarify on that.
Yeah, because I know PSO 2
online,
is getting a Western release finally, but
yeah.
if you wanted to do some homework, you could hack it to, or like make I think like a Malaysian PS4 account or something like that. Or Japanese, I guess. It'd probably be easier. Oh, God. Medicine. Man, this guy is destroying me. Okay, I know I use my full medicine. Oh, God. It's because every time I walk into this, oh, I got him that time. All right.
And they turned up the difficulty with
Oh,
this fight.
that's, wait, I just realized what I've been doing wrong. Because if I have to hold left trigger to pick those up, but I have to let go of it to throw it.
Ah, there you go. That's
So
a
hold-
significantly larger chunk of
okay.
damage.
And let's get this guy.
Yeah, man, this is
Yeah,
making me
this-
want to start this game.
Heavy attack. Oh, yes, got him. Boom. Now I have captured the puppy.
Nice. Name him Doge.
Hello, Doge.
Doom Doge.
The Beast Legion.
That's a pretty cool design, not gonna lie. Now it's even cooler design.
I have 4 out of the 5 legions. I don't know if that means I'm getting towards the end of the game, but I heard this game is
maybe you
long-ish.
acquire all of them pretty early on.
I think I'm on the 5th. Yeah, I'm on file 5, and I hear there's 11 and then an end game. But apparently they vary in length widely, so I don't know if that means that I've got like a couple of super short files coming up, or some that are like 5 hours long.
Right.
I know that
Like,
I ended
you
up
can relate
dropping
it back to,
Death
like,
Stranding on like chapter 3, and it's
Oh,
like
gosh.
something like 15. I didn't even do it on purpose. I just like I got busy with like obviously for Geeks and Gamers I had to I can ride the dog. How about that? I had to do
Yes, do
I
it.
had to do some videos for Jedi Fallen Order, which came out at around the same time as Death Stranding. So I stopped playing Death Stranding to play through Jedi Fallen Order, and then played through it twice on the 2 hardest difficulties in like the first 5 days it was out, and then just started going into crazy edit mode. And yeah, by the time I got out, I think I started trying to play Death Stranding again, and I just kind of forgot the mechanics, and I was like, this game actually takes a while to learn. I don't know if I'm going to be able to like get back into this game, but I'd like to, because I am a fairly big Kojima fan. Oh, wait,
Yeah,
okay.
I have Death
There we
Stranding. I don't know if I'm sink the time into that right now. I'd rather go back and finally play Jedi Fallen Order, honestly.
Jedi Fallen Order will definitely take you less time, from what I was able to gather. Because Jedi Fallen... Oh, no. I totally fell off the world.
I've had some people say that the Jedi Fallen Order isn't particularly long.
No, it's not. Like, I mean, Granted, I was, like, really marathoning it, so my experience might not be totally fair to say, but, like, we
Sure.
did a stream on Geeks and Game... Oh, man, again. Just keep falling off the world. We did a stream on Geeks and Gamers on midnight on the Thursday it came out, and I got the Friday off work specifically because I knew that I would have to be doing some gaming content for Geeks and Gamers if a new Star Wars game was out that wasn't... Oh, no. I am just doing nothing but falling off the world here. Here's another thing I wish that because of the frame rate making it kind of difficult to turn the camera in this game, they make it way too easy for you to just run off a ledge. But yeah, so I knew that I would have to be making some videos for that. So I took the day off work and basically played it the whole weekend. And the first time I beat it was the Saturday morning. So from staying up basically all night on the Thursday to playing on Friday during most of the day, like the whole day, and then waking up on Saturday and playing through the rest of it. That's how long it took me. So this guy has a shield, so maybe it's... Do I have to... Nope, can't get through there. Who's generating his shield, though? Oh, it's up there. Okay, so that's the one I need to use my bow and arrow guy to do it. I figured it would be the beast one, because that's the one I just got.
The designs for the creatures in the game are...
Yeah, they're basically supposed to be ghosts. And There we go.
Captain Wankster says he prefers Force Unleashed. Force Unleashed were solid games.
Yeah,
I
actually,
think
that's
they,
my
they're-
most successful
they're
video
underrated.
ever is on the original Force Unleashed. It's got like 183,000 views. And that one's on Geeks and Gamers, to be fair. It's not on like my channel, but it's definitely my best performing video on Geeks and Gamers even. Like, I have no idea how that happened. I think it just got picked up in the algorithm or something and got recommended to a lot of Star Wars fans.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, but I really like the Force Unleashed a lot. I think it holds up quite well, especially with on PC. If you do a 60 frames a second mod on it and run it in 4K, it like visually it can compete with modern games. Like it looks really good.
Well, yeah, I mean, on PC, you can unlock I'm sure you can unlock the consoles.
Well, and I mean, again, that's the thing with the flexibility. So, like, on a PC that would essentially be a potato, you can run a game from 2008, and if you have a PC that is potato comparatively, but it's more powerful than an Xbox 360, like, you can just crank up the settings and actually get something more out of the game. Whereas, the one thing I don't like about console games is they're kind of fixed platforms in that they're sort of stuck looking the way they look, and they're never going to look any different. Unless they start doing some different stuff with backwards compatibility, and that's what I'm really hoping that on PS4 or playing a PS4 game on a PS5, I hope that you'll be able to play a game like Days Gone that famously had kind of a lackluster frame rate, but play it at a good frame rate, and I think that would be really cool. Can I move down here?
Yeah, I mean, Xbox One's backwards compatibility, specifically with the Xbox One X, has something similar.
Yeah, for
With certain
example,
titles that they've
Red Dead
specifically
Redemption.
gone
The
back
original
in
Red Dead Redemption
for.
looks great on Xbox One X. Actually, I almost want to get back to playing that because I was playing. It was right after Red Dead 2. I started playing Red Dead 1 on the X because that's where I played Red Dead 2 because Red Dead 2 is actually a prequel. So you kind of go right from one game into the next from a narrative standpoint, and it looked quite good. All right, I like the puppy. The puppy is a good Legion. But
Fitting
this
with the
one
chain
might be
as well.
flying too much.
Captain Wingster says, I'm hoping for PS5 Legacy backwards compatibility. Yeah, I mean, there are rumors floating around the internet.
PS3 is going to be the tough one.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, I'd love to have access to, PS1 forward games.
PS1,
I
I don't even understand why PS4 can't run PS1 games. That's insane to me.
It can.
Yeah, but I'm just like, why don't they let it? Like, especially because people have already bought so many PS1 classics. Hell, I own a bunch of PS1 classics on. Like, it's crazy that I can play Castlevania Symphony. Well, I guess I can play that. No, I had to re-buy it on PS4. But I could play Final Fantasy VI on Vita, but I can't play it on PS4.
Yeah.
Like, you're telling me the PS4 isn't as capable as the Vita of running a game from 1996? Or I guess Final Fantasy III being, even earlier.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, any of those titles that you were 3 and the Vita that were, ports of the PS1 and PS2 games, there's no reason why they shouldn't be downloadable on the PS4.
Yeah, that's a little crazy. Ah. Okay. So what's his sound? He's got
So vulnerable and alone.
Okay, drone.
Well, Mark, I hate to dip out, but I gotta make some dinner here.
Alright, I might just get to the next solid save point that I have, and oh, crap, oh no, again, falling off the world. But yeah, but good talking to you, Andrew. I guess I can close this thing out once I get to a decent spot that feels like I can end a stream on, because I'm in the middle of the astral plane, and it's scary out here. It's like being in hell. I don't want to be in hell. Oh, God.
It looks a little bit like that, like a digital hell.
Yeah, it's like Hell Matrix. Mm.
Right on,
Matrix.
man. Well, it was cool chatting with you. Hopefully we'll do it again soon.
All right, man. Yeah, good luck on the Twitch channel.
Thank you very much, man. I know who to chat with if I got questions.
Indeed. All right,
You take care. Chat. Y'all be easy.
So hello, chat. I guess it's just the two of us now. I mean, I guess not the two of us. The 25 of us. I will probably be ending this soon, and due to the okay, apparently good. I can jump with the puppy. That's good to know. Yeah, there's the drone.
It's you. I should have known not just anyone would answer the call.
Maybe take a peek at this while he's talking to me. Controls were old, but actually still kind of held up. Played Red Dead Revolver on PS4. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Assassin's Creed, I really liked all of them-ish up to Unity. Unity I didn't like, and then I kind of fell off the series after that. I was sort of getting into Origins, but it became very side questy for me at a certain point, and I was just like, man, I feel like all I'm doing in this game is doing side quests when all I really want to do is like avenge avenge the person who dies towards the beginning of the game. I won't spoil the thing that happens. But yeah, and I didn't play Odyssey. I've heard Odyssey is really good, and I think actually every time I hear someone like not Patrick Klepek, the other guy, Jason Schreier, say, oh yeah, like Assassin's Creed Odyssey is easily as good as Witcher 3, I'm just like, it makes me not want to play it. I'm just like, oh no, it's not. Come on. Like, just because I know that from what I've heard, he's like the only person I've ever heard say that out of all the people I know that like would be honest about it. So I don't know. Maybe I'm not being fair to it, but it's always turned me off Odyssey when I hear people be like, oh yeah, like Assassin's Creed Odyssey is basically The Witcher 3 but better. I'm just like, no, it's not. I'll admit my bias though. I really love The Witcher 3. Okay, let's dig doggy. Oh wait, how do I have him search? Look. And oh no. I thought it said Z trigger an A. No? I don't want to have to bring up that tutorial again. Oh, maybe I need to equip this skill, actually. There we go. Legion learning. Oh no. Assign skills. Maybe I just haven't learned it yet. Sync attack. I should have 4,000. Okay, that's probably enough. Skill. Boost retain stats ability effects after sync keep. Don't know if that's it. Let's see what else I can do. Automatically chain bind. Power charge. Sorry guys, I'm just reading here. I don't mean to be ignoring you. I might have to actually go back to that tutorial because clearly I don't know how to dig with the puppy. I thought I got it, but help maybe? Action controls. Beast Legion. There we go. Sound tracking. Digging for items. Yeah. And A. Yeah, and A. I was pressing A. Why is that? Okay. Okay, so the spot where it's on. You got it there. Oh, okay, no, that was the wrong button I pressed. I'll admit that time was my fault. I'm holding Z trigger and pressing A. If everyone can see, I don't know if you can say that, but he's not digging. And I can't even tilt the camera up. Not crazy about this dig mechanic. Sorry guys, I guess this is ZL is this, right? Man, I don't know what it wants me to do. Act 1 to 4 was great. Origins was pretty good. I wouldn't recommend Odyssey as a longtime fan, but it's okay. Huh, well, I don't know. Maybe I'll get around to it at some point, but these days I'm so busy I can't honestly ever see myself getting back to games that I wasn't really into playing. Hey, Dave, look for patches of ground. Oh, okay. No, it's actually finding a patch. So what am I seeing that with the scent? Okay. Huh. That's weird. See, I thought it was narrowing down on that, that actual spot.
Find anything?
Oh, okay. This is probably it.
Something's. Let's have the Beast Legion dig it up.
Did he just jump away? There we go. Okay.
It's an organic motor drive battery. I'm still missing some parts.
Yeah, take it easy, Captain
Not
Wingster.
many of them around. Wait a second. If the Beast Legion can track sounds like a dog, it should
Dig
be
like a
able to
dog,
smell
yeah,
like
smell like a dog too.
right?
So how do I track like scent? Give Beast Legion a scent. Show the Beast Legion a certain item and it can track to the source of their sense. Okay. That seems easy enough. Wait. Come on. Stop running away from me. There we go. Okay. Good job, Beast Legion. Lead me to the things you're leading me to, young puppy. Okay, 3D biosensor. Right on. Alright, 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 alright.
Now bring him on home, would you?
Does that mean I can leave the astral plane and go to bed? Oh no, of course, more fighting. Well, you're here for action, aren't you, chat? Let's kill some ghost cyborg things. Okay, where is the shield guy? Oh, okay, he's dug under the ground. I see. Aha! See, that one I figured out. Okay. Kaboom. Still glancing at the chat every now and then. Just, if it seems like I'm ignoring you, I'm just trying to play an intense action game and also talk to you, I promise. I just don't have any of my backup anymore. I'm flying solo, everybody. I have no people. I'm solo. It's like that film, that incredible Star Wars spin-off film that everybody loved and no one thought was hot garbage. And it certainly didn't lose money. Oh god. Dig in and kill the shield guy, puppy. Oh, there's one hell of a move. Good job, puppy. Oh man, I keep on forgetting the left trigger is how I do those bonus attacks. Alright. It was a good fight, good form. There we go. Alright, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being a part of that wonderful, wonderful moment. Okay. Turn with parts. Maybe get on this elevator. Alright, let's see if I can scan through some of those. PS5 Legacy backwards compatibility, okay. Mostly caught up on the chat.
Biosignal nearby. Man, but this signal's definitely human.
The Beast Legion must have dragged someone else in before you made it roll over. Time to save the day, huh?
Again, I got the D. Oh boy. Alright. So now, wait, okay, I'm finding the biosignal. I wonder how much longer is actually left in this, though, because...
Hey, not that way.
Okay, let's, go to the... Talk to... Oh, follow.
Come on, let's head for the signal.
Okay, so where are we going? Can I give him the scent? Or am I going back up and around? Here, let's, there we go. Okay, so it's over there, yeah, so I'm going back up. Why did I have to go there and talk to this guy? Odd design. Okay, fragments of pillar or astral marker that's split into 3. Your astral train to drag parts together. Oh, okay. That should be easy enough. What? There we go. Okay. All right. Oh, stop. Let's not run off the cliff this time. That was pretty good. Can't wait to play the Elder Worlds on Steam later this year. See, Christina, Nardone, you get me. You might be the only one who does. But yeah, no, I enjoyed playing Outer Worlds on Game Pass, but I really wish I could have just bought it on Steam, and I might have not fallen off it, because I actually haven't finished it. I should, though, because it was definitely a fun game. I streamed it a fair amount on my channel, so if you ever want to see me playing the Outer Worlds, I do a fair amount of it on my gaming streams, what's it called? Playlist. Oh, an R? Okay. I don't have to hold A, though. Oh, there we go. Okay, which way? How much further can I move this? Alright, maybe you have to move them further over this way. Okay, if I can only move it that far, though, what the hell? Oh, maybe pull back? Yeah, there we go. Oh, I'm stupid. There. That's a way to do that. But yes, I did enjoy the Outer Worlds, though. From what I did play of it, I thought it was quite a fun game, and I think that if you do play it, you will enjoy it, because it's a pretty good time. I think that it would be nicer if the RPG elements of it were a tad more developed, and you could be a bit of a jerk to your teammates if you wanted to, which I'm not even really big into, and I don't even think I would really do, but I eventually started noticing that it was just flat out not an option. And that was odd. It's an odd choice. But I think it's a bit of the risk that a game developer will make if they want to have your character be a certain type of character, but also be like, but it's an RPG and you can do what you want. Be like, well, you should let people be an asshole, and like if they want to be an evil jerk, you should allow them the tools to do that. And maybe make it so that being a jerk has consequences, but part of the strength of the role-playing game genre is that you do let people make that decision for themselves. And think of how many people like play Nice Old Republic and like being a Sith Lord. I never really wanted to. Like I always wanted to be a Jedi, but I mean that's because the type of person I am is I always found the story of the Jedi to be more relatable than the story of, say, Anakin falling to the dark side. I never really was able to, I don't want to say identify as in I feel like, oh, if I was Anakin, this is exactly what I would do. But if I was in his shoes, I would not have made the same decisions that he made. Ooh, blonde lady. Blonde lady who stabbed my sister in the chest, but didn't kill her, so maybe I'm still okay with her. Jenna.
Someday they'll return to Earth to hunt and bring back others to make like them. is chimeras.
So this whole place is made of.
Ooh, this whole place is made of people. The astral plane is people. It's Soylent Green.
The earth isn't being corrupted, or whatever you might call it. It's being brought here, bit by bit. Or should I say, brought back here. Think of this as a storage unit, kept by unknowable masters. Our extinction is merely their reorganization. When you think of it that way, it doesn't seem so bad, does it?
It doesn't seem so bad. People are. The whole planet is. It's being destroyed.
It is. So now what will you do about it? This place is vast, far larger than planet Earth. Infinite, for all intents and purposes. A tide the likes of which you can't imagine swells before you. How long do you think you'll last against it?
I don't know. I can last quite a while, Jenna. Not that you would know yet.
By the way,
It's getting late, okay? I'm making sexy jokes to fictional anime women.
still alive then, I take it. That's too bad.
Can't help it. Platinum Games character designs, they get me.
I can still remember when I first heard about you two. Twins, brought into the world right in the middle of the pandemic, as it ravaged Zone 09 20 years ago. Am I mistaken?
You were born during the pandemic?
Apparently I was.
Those two were quite famous in scientific circles. The devil's children, born from corruption, they said.
Jesus, that's.
If that brave officer hadn't taken you under his wing, you'd probably still be strapped to a lab table. And yet, yes, you've grown so much.
The Japanese dialogue being where the lip syncing is so unbelievably obvious.
I'll give you
It's like watching an old kung fu movie.
your power. It's not the blessing you
I know
think
kung
it
fu is not Japanese. I'm just saying the
Be
lip
very
syncing being
careful.
terrible is the thing.
especially around that man. Take a long look at that. Next is up to you.
You still stabbed his sister in the chest, though.
Come on, we gotta stop her. Hello.
Yeah.
Okay, look,
I'm kind of wondering why I'm not
that's a lot
going.
to take in, but there'll be plenty of time to think when Jenna's in handcuffs.
Yeah, come on. Be a good anime cop. I'm gonna collect some of these items, though, because, you know, you always gotta collect stuff. It's a video game, right? I have a feeling that me running through that is not going to be much different if I do it now or in a minute or two. I'm thinking, though, that this should be the end of Chapter 5. Come on. Pick up all the cool stuff and things. Alright. There we go. Maybe I'm just putting this off because I really don't want to shave my beard. It is what I'm going to do immediately after this, because I'm up at 5 a.m. tomorrow, and then I have to go to my clinic by 6 a.m. and unlock all the doors in 3 buildings. So I don't want to have to trim my beard off, shave, and then shower, because you got to shower after having a shave like that, especially with all this
You're
hair,
quite
in the
persistent,
morning.
aren't
So
you?
I'm definitely going to have to
I'd
do it
hoped
right
we
after
could keep
this.
it to a friendly chat today. I can't let you catch me just yet.
Oop. Oh, am I going to have to fight another boss? I fought like 3 bosses this level. Maybe it's just a new enemy type. Proto-Legion. I mean, don't get me wrong, that sounds kind of cool. Proto-Legion's a decent name. Now, right after this, though, I'm going to capture this footage. Okay, there we go.
I take it those Legion cores are what she stole from the ARI.
go. Oh, God. Oh, no! Oh, you gotta be kidding. I was trying to time that perfect dodge, but that did not work well. I wonder how, like, maybe continuing just gives me a really bad rating, because I'm, like, really running low on healing items. That's why I didn't want to use that, one of those full heals. And, do I have to go through the whole cinematic again? I guess here, I can get different footage now, because I stopped this after this one. So if I want footage for the video I'm making, if you guys end up seeing it, where I roll right from this cinematic into the fights, you'll know that it's because I died and had to redo the fight, so I was able to capture it at a different thing. Because I can only capture 20 minutes at a time. So every 20 minutes, I gotta remember to lean over to my keyboard and hit Alt F10, or else I will not have the footage of the thing. And I do that mostly to save hard drive space and make my clips a manageable size, because if it was just full on every single second of every game I'm playing I'm capturing, I would need all of the hard drive in the world, and that would get expensive. Oh. Let's try to keep open and get this. Maybe oh. And I didn't want to... The sword legion's who I wanted. Oh, but my legion's gone again. So see, when your legion gets killed, that ring that's kind of close to me that almost looks like the Breath of the Wild stamina bar needs to recharge. Oh, come on. There we go. Oh no. I have one left. Oh, come on. Maybe my legion died before I could get that combo hit off. Do I have any other energy spike? And oh, I guess I have some normal medicines. There we go. Oh god. Come on, 85, 90. There we go. Okay, come on. Big hit. There we go, baby. Let's make something happen here. Oh, come on. Oh, I'm stunned. That's why. Okay. Again, I should have had that perfect dodge. There we go. Big circular hit on this guy. Let's oh, I still have some minis too. How about that? Oh god. Alright, we got this, chat. Oh, okay, maybe not. Okay, stun yourselves for a second. Let me rope around both of you. Okay, now they're cutting through my chains. That's a tactic that is not going to be working too much anymore. One down. There we go. Boom. Whew. Probably a D. I'm gonna guess because I died. S! S rank? What do you have to do in this game to win? I died twice in that fight. This looks harder than DMC. Well, it's Platinum Games, so it is, I actually don't know if Hideki Kamiya directed this game. I really should look that up. I will know that before my review. But Hideki Kamiya directed the original Devil May Cry and went on to eventually make Bayonetta. And that was one of the first games from this studio, Platinum Games, who has now made this game. And definitely a Hideki Kamiya game that's coming out on Switch in April is Wonderful 101. That was a Wii U game that I've never played, but I will hopefully be playing it on Steam because I kickstarted it. Don't kickstart unless you're 100% confident in the game, though, because a Kickstarter is not a guarantee. I always try to say that to people before I start saying, oh yeah, I kickstarted this game and you should too, because it's amazing, because by kickstarting I kind of have a bit of an interest in the game going well, because especially they've made it so that the Kickstarter is almost like a pre-order system where if they hit stretch goals, all the DLC that comes out of stretch goals is given to every backer. Oh, and also I should Alt F10 that.
Okay, Alicia's on her way back now. Come on home. But
okay.
Now, you should come by the station more often too. See you.
Okay, yes. Is Hal the drone?
Man, tough crowd. That was
He has a crush on Olive. Olive is pretty attractive, though. I make no secret about my love for anime women. I don't think they replace real women. I have a girlfriend. Her name's X-Ray Girl, as far as everyone here is concerned, and she's beautiful, and I love her, and it is not... She will never be replaced by an anime waifu. Or at least hopefully not. Not anytime soon. I mean, maybe if they get the robot ones looking real good. No, I'm kidding, no. Seek real human companionship, everybody. Don't go after robot. Leave the robot people to me, because I'm part robot. There, I got a D rank overall, though, even though I got an S on the last battle. But yeah, it looks like this is the end of file 5. So we got through 2 whole files today. One of them didn't really even have much of a Officer Plus. Would have been nice if I got up a rank, because now I'm still going to have 800 health. Apparently the only way that you gain health in this... Oh yeah, here. So I'm just going to go return to title. I'm going to assume that everything got saved. Otherwise I'm just going to have to do that one fight again. Oh no, there it said saving. Cool. All right, yeah, so that was Astral Chain, everybody. There was we had a lot of guests on that stream. We had Krista Nova and Jeremy Griggs and Andrew. I don't know Andrew's last name yet. I could find that out. Actually, I don't know if he wants his last name said. I do know his name is Andrew, and he will be the person who's mostly going to be heading up the Gaming with Geeks Twitch channel from here on out. I'm still going to be here playing random weeb games on Gaming with Geeks. On Wednesdays, I do streams on my own channel, Marc the Cyborg, that I call Warrior Wednesdays, because, I don't know, it's a W word, you know, it sounded okay. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. I have games that come out on this channel every Friday. My next one will be a review of Doom 2016 that I think is a really good video. I'm pretty proud of it. So I hope you guys stay tuned for that on the weekend. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. So I sign off all my streams the same way. And I'll just end it the way I don't end them. Oh, and X-Ray Girl just popped on. Hello, I was just talking about you, X-Ray Girl. I saw you said hola and then retracted your message. Maybe she's breaking up with me. Oh, please don't. Anyways, but yeah, so that's the end of the stream. And I've got to go shave my beard. So X-Ray Girl, if you are still watching this, this is the last time that you will ever be able to see my beard until I regrow it whenever you come back from your trip. So, as especially X-Ray Girl, but everybody here, you're all wonderful people, and I love you dearly. But now I actually have to get to Streamlabs. There we go.